Hello, Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network listeners. I am Jeff Hawkins, co-host of Shake Them Ropes, with a very special announcement. If it's been a while or you've never listened to us before, the original gang is back. Myself and Rob McCarran, back talking wrestling. We have no idea where this show's going to go, where we're going to keep any of the old bits or any of the old things in there. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a journey, and we'd like for you to come along with us. Only on Shake Them Ropes on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Thank you so much for supporting WWE and NXT and me. You're so sweet.
You are listening to the Flagship Podcast with your hosts, Joe Lanza.
Trouble, that's me. Cherry lips and bad energy. Say it once, say it twice, and I give it to you all night.
Rich Craig.
Every single time she comes out, it goes, I was there to help you. I was trying to help you. You know?
Because again, you have to be a simpleton to enjoy this stuff.
Statistically dumb and statistically poor. We should point that out. And we are live on the Flagship Podcast. I am Rich. He is Joe. Joe, what's happening? How are you?
No one cares how I am. Listen, I have a question for you.
What's up? What do you got?
And I didn't plan this. I was just scrolling on Twitter waiting for the show.
Oh, that's a bad idea. Okay. If it's about that certain agent, I don't want to talk about him if it's that guy.
No, why would we ever talk about that?
Okay, good. All right, good.
No, it has nothing to do with wrestling. I just saw this on Twitter. The MLB logo. Is he left-handed or right-handed?
The MLB logo, is he left-handed or right-handed? Now, I'm not even going to look it up. I'm just going to close my eyes, and I've obviously seen this logo a billion times.
Right.
I have always thought of him as a right-handed hitter.
So you're either looking at him straight on if he's a left-handed hitter and you're looking at his chest, or you're looking at him from behind and you're looking at his back if he's a right-handed hitter. I think he's right-handed.
I thought so. I think so, too. I think we're looking at his back, and he is.
Yeah.
Because I think from the way that the pitch is coming, so what'd you say? If it's a left-handed, you're looking at.
So if he's left-handed, it means we're looking straight at him and we're looking at his chest. Right?
I don't know if that makes sense with where the ball is at.
I agree. I think he's right-handed, and I think we're looking over the shoulder.
Correct. We're third base line looking at his shoulder.
Right. And he's about to take a hack at that pitch.
Correct. Yeah, it's a little high though. You might want to let that one go, but
he's a little late, so I don't think he's going to make contact.
I don't know about. Might want to let that one get to the catcher's mitt and go for the next pitch, but
yeah. Many people have opined that that's actually Harmon Killebrew, who that's based on.
Okay, it seems too polygonal to be based on anybody. That nose is pretty straight.
Prominent?
Yeah, it's a little too. Let me see what Harmon Killebrew.
Well, Harmon Killebrew batted right-handed, and it kind of looks like his silhouette, if we're being honest.
Yeah, Harmon does have a pretty big fucking nose. Okay.
What year did they come up with the logo? That would be a good question.
Yeah, let me see. When did the MLB logo come to be? I guess would be or when did they form that logo? All right, 1968. So okay, that would
that's in his wheelhouse. That's the Killebrew wheelhouse. Right?
Well, it says here. I think this is a Wikipedia entry. Contrary to popular belief, the silhouette was not modeled on Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew or any specific player.
Oh, there you go.
But I don't know who said that.
Kind of looks like Killebrew.
It does kind of. Yeah, you could close your eyes, and Jerry Dior is the man who created it. And let's see. MLB.com has the article here. Killebrew, a legend, but not the logo.
Dead. Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely dead. Yeah, for sure. Well, not Harmon. We know Harmon Killebrew's dead. As far as Larry Dior or whatever I said, he's definitely.
I'm sure he's dead.
Oh yeah. No, you've gotten me onto that. Yeah. For people that have not done, and by the way, I don't recommend this because it changes the way you watch everything forever.
Right.
You've turned me on to watching shows from any era besides the current and wondering if that person is dead.
Yeah, you do the death math on everybody that you can see in the front row.
Right. Like wrestling shows, I'm thinking That guy's dead for sure. There's like a young dad that brings his kid to like a 1983 wrestling show, and I'm like, I don't know, he's probably 40, and that's a long time ago. I mean, there's a pretty solid he could be alive, but there's also a really solid chance he's dead. I mean, the kid's 40. I mean, the little kid that he's holding,
I always watch World Class, and I think, man, these women swooning over the Von Erichs, they're like in their early 70s, smoking a pack of Winstons in front of their trailer now.
Like, right. Talking about the time they betted David or whatever.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it's like, oof, you do the math, and it's like, holy shit.
Animals 2 is one that I always like. If we watch any movie with an animal, and I'm like, that sucks. That dog's been dead for like 20 years. What the fuck?
Counting on your fingers, you're like, what year did this come out? 2003? Let me see. If that dog is 2, and then you're like, shit, the dog's dead.
The dog's definitely dead. Like, unless it's an anomaly, that dog is absolutely dead, and that absolutely sucks to think about because it ruins the movie. I really, it's one thing to like. When you watch like a 1970s movie and you're like, okay, yeah, all these people are dead or whatever. Or I watch like Unsolved Mysteries sometimes to fall asleep, and everybody on that show is dead. They have to be. Everybody on that show, from Robert Stack on down, is dead because everybody they're interviewing is old as shit. Everybody they're talking about, every story they're talking about is from like 1975 or 1981 or whatever. They're all dead. Every single one of them. But like any movie involving or any TV show involving animals, I definitely don't recommend doing it unless I guess there's like a tortoise on the show. There's a good chance he's alive still, but
I do it. I can't help it. Yesterday I was driving down a very busy street and a little turtle was crossing at rush hour, and I was like, this is not going to end well. I should probably maybe stop the car and save this little guy, but it's rush hour traffic, 4-lane street.
It's tough.
I had to just let it go. I was just like, I'm not coming down this street for a week because I can't deal. If I see his carcass,
you'll know that you could have saved him, maybe.
That I could have saved him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little turtle crossing the street. Yeah. The first time I did that down here, there was a turtle about the same size crossing a small road over by my house, where you could stop and actually do something. So I'm like, I'm going to get out and save this guy. So I got out. And I went to pick up the turtle, and he turned his head at me and went,
You're like, all right, fucker. I don't care.
Awful hissing sound. His mouth open. I was like, I like jumped back. I was like, I don't know if I should go through with this now. I might, but I picked him up anyway, and I deposited him back in the little creek next to the road.
There you
which
go.
Probably pissed him off.
Yeah, he's like, motherfucker, I've been trying all day to get out of here.
I got to start all over. I'm trying to get out of that creek and get over to the other side of the street. But, I didn't want him to get crushed.
No.
They do move very slow. That's not just a
no, we have there's a road by me. It's not as busy, thankfully, but there's a road by me where, on especially this time of year, it is just filled with little turtles, and it's got a little sign that says turtle crossing or whatever. And there's very often I'll be, driving and I'll see one and I'm like, all right. So I'll either try to make sure that my car gets out of the way. And I have gotten out a couple times too. I haven't picked one up. I've just kind of done the shoe thing, where I kind of like, come on. And they don't go any faster. They don't give a fuck. They're on turtle time then. They don't give a shit. They're going to take their time to get across that street. But I couldn't live with myself if I ran over a turtle. That would just destroy me. I ran over a squirrel one time 15 years ago, and I think about it every day. Every day I think about it. Anytime I see a squirrel crossing the street, I'm that guy who will slam on his brakes and at some point probably cause like a 5-car pileup.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I don't really want to run over the squirrel. I mean, I have done it once, and I don't want to ever do it again. I felt horrible.
See armadillos every now and then crushed in the road out here. But, I could deal with that. Like, that doesn't bother me for some. I wouldn't want to hit it, but I'm not, like, heartbroken when I see a dead armadillo. When I see a dead turtle with the crushed shell and everything, that bothers me.
Yeah, they're so innocent. Turtles feel so innocent. Yeah.
Yeah.
The armadillo, and if you were to run over an armadillo, that feels like that would really cause some problems in your car, right? That would feel you would feel
big.
that.
I feel like it's got like the trucks run them over. But from what I understand too, when they get run over, it's very stinky. They emit a very nasty odor when they get run over. I can't confirm that, but I've never seen. It's funny. I've never seen a live armadillo out here. Only crushed ones in the road, which is strange.
Are they getting crushed at night? Or they? I don't know. I don't know my armadillos. I don't live in an area with armadillos. They're not nocturnal, are they?
I don't know armadillo lore. I don't know. I don't know armadillo. I don't know what they're doing. Lore. I just know I see them dead sometimes.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a thing because sometimes if you wake up early. Oh, you would know this. Well, maybe you go to bed early. Maybe when you were in the Tinder Mahal days, when you were driving home from a soiree, you would maybe you'll. When I wake up early and drive the roads, did you go to any soirees or no?
A soiree, he says.
I don't think you weren't a soiree kind of guy, right? You're more of a.
I don't even know what a soiree is, but it sounds like something I'm not interested in.
I don't think you're interested in soirees, but
No.
no, you'll see like certain animals that you're like, I never see like that animal or that animal or that animal crossing the road, but like truckers run them over all the time because they're just driving in the middle of the night. They not paying attention or whatever, or they can't like hit their fucking engine brakes, and it's like I'm not gonna do that to not hit a possum. Like,
and I would think it's a little harder to swerve around animals if you're driving an 18-wheeler.
Yes, if you're in an 18-wheeler, you should probably just run over the squirrels or don't cause yourself or many other people bodily harm by trying to avoid a possum in the road.
It's like train conductors. They teach you in training, look, you're gonna kill somebody. You're just gonna have to mentally prepare for that right now.
Right. Just look away. They have the shields, right? They have the every train has that like a curtain. You hit a button and the curtains go up on the window, so you don't even have to.
Is that true?
It is true. I'm pretty sure it's true that when you're about to hit somebody, you don't want to see it. Obviously,
you don't want to see it.
Right. So when you see that person on the road, you just have to put those shields up and just go, all right, well, we'll see. And I guess you hear something and all right, well, I hit him, so now I got to stop the train. But I'm sure you're already stopping, but it takes miles to stop a train.
It takes those things like a mile to stop. So it's like once they recognize that they've got someone, that once they realize there's a damsel tied to the tracks or someone committing suicide or a car across the train, they're not going to be able to stop in time. So it's just you in that line of work, you're going to kill somebody eventually. I didn't know they had that gimmick to stop you from seeing it though.
I'm pretty sure they have like a shield or a curtain or some sort that you can. Because I'm sure that's pretty traumatic. I'm sure,
Of course.
And you can't bail. You can't run out of the room or whatever, run out of the engine or whatever. You probably have to kind of stay there for certain reasons. So there's good idea to brutal. Make it so. Yeah, it's horrible, horrible.
That's why they're slamming that fucking horn 2 miles away because they don't want to deal with that.
Get out of the fucking.
Because I live right near a train tracks.
Same.
And sometimes you're like, all right, easy on the horn. But you can kind of from their viewpoint, all right, I kind of get it. Because the last thing they want to do is fucking kill somebody. Kids playing on the tracks, car trying to be slick and beating the fucking gate. Any of that. They don't want to deal with that. So, I guess, you got to cut them a break for jamming that fucking stupid Jurassic Express bus horn, but I will not cut them a break.
No, they don't need the horn.
They don't need the horn.
They're in the bay doors of a fucking arena. We don't need horns. It's okay. We got you guys. But speaking of that, we're going to talk about AEW here a little bit later in the show. The Thursday Dynamite review it's still on Thursday, but it has moved to the Flagship this week as I'm going to join you to discuss the weekly episode of Dynamite. So that is coming later in the show. We will do that. We are going to preview New Japan's Wrestling Dontaku, 2 nights of Wrestling Dontaku coming up this weekend for New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're going to review Dragongate's Golden Colosseum. Yes, Dragongate back on the Flagship. Long time coming. I don't know. God, I can't remember the last time we reviewed a full Dragongate show on the Flagship. It had to be maybe the last time they had one of these cage matches, one of the Dead or Alive cage matches, maybe is the last time we've done a full Dragongate show. We'll talk about NXT, the news of NXT and their premium live events going to the CW, as well as the CW getting on ESPN, the CW Sports aspect of CW, which we'll talk about a little bit. Again, like I said, we'll talk about Dynamite. We'll review that for the Thursday Dynamite review. We'll take a look at the Double or Nothing card. Before we get to all that, Joe, I wanted to check in on 2 promotions that we have an affinity for. Well, one that I maybe have an affinity for, and one that we have an affinity for. And the first one I wanted to talk about right out of the gates, and we didn't talk about this, but I know you're ready. The National Wrestling Alliance, Joe. Are we back? Can we watch the National Wrestling Alliance again? The weekly shows.
That's a good point. Do I get Comet? I got to check in on
so that is, I was going to do do I get this channel live on the air? Now, you claim to have a package that gets you everything. I can get everything. I have everything.
Well,
Comet's going to be an interesting one. I want to see if you get. I don't get Comet.
Hold on now. I get everything they offer. Yeah. I don't know if they offer Comet. So I do have to check in on that. If I do receive the Comet, then maybe we'll review this and see if it lasts longer than the Impact reviews. Let me see if I could check this.
I didn't know. I thought Comet was like a fast channel. I really honestly didn't know Comet was like a real thing that you could.
No. Yeah, it's a real channel.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Carrie. How am I going to check this? I have to
So I have a list of Comet affiliates in different cities. Looks like 2.5. I can get Comet on 2.5. I got to get the rabbit ears out, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, whenever you're getting 0.5, it's
2.5.
You're really pushing it.
What would be your You're not. Are you Dallas? You wouldn't be Dallas Fort Worth. I'm trying to look at.
No, Waco.
Would you be a Waco affiliate? Or 34.2 is what it says for Waco.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting that. I'd have to get antenna, and I'm not getting an antenna. Let me see if Comet has a Wake. That's the Waco affiliate.
This says Waco affiliate is KZCZLD 34.2.
They have some awful call letters too. Yeah. Those are some ugly call letters.
It's not great.
Those are call letters befitting of a Comet affiliate. Let me see if Comet has a Bryan College Station affiliate, because I do get a few hokey ass standard definition Bryan College Station affiliates here.
Oh, if you actually, I can help you one more. If you go to comettv.com/NWA, it says find Comet in your area, and then you can give them your little zip code. And then it'll tell you.
Yes, Comet TV has an affiliate serving Bryan College Station. It is carried on the sub-channel of KAGS, the NBC affiliate for Brazos Valley, on channel 23.5. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm at 2.5 as well, so... Yeah.
I'm not tracking down 23.5.
It says it is also available to stream online at comettv.com/watch-live. Now, do I have to sign in?
Pues mi Jorgito me mandó el ramo de flores más bonito que yo haya visto.
No es playing for everybody. I apologize. An autoplay ad in Spanish just played for all of you guys, so enjoy.
Oh, okay. For me at least.
Now, is this okay? This looks like it's live. It looks like you could just watch it here. Now, can you watch on demand? Yeah, the key is, can we watch on demand NWA on comettv.com? Because I'm not going to 2.5 either. So
I'm not doing that.
Not for power.
Fucking rabbit ears. Get the fuck out of here. I guess we're not covering.
Hold on. I got to find out if the episodes. If the episodes do come, why did I get I don't know why I get a lot of like Spanish commercials. Like on everything I watch like digitally, it gives me Spanish ads. I don't know why.
Listen, they know that you're one sexy hombre and you got that señorita over there, and you guys, you do the fucking burrito slide over there at that in Downers Grove.
It's very strange. Yeah, I get that a lot. They're like, I will get like Hyundai ads in. It's only like I'll watch an entire whatever I watch. If I'm watching whatever and they play ads or whatever, if I'm watching Max or it'll give me like 3 English language, and then it'll give me a Hyundai ad in Spanish, and I'm like, what the fuck is this for? And I thought that was a one-time thing, but it still happens. So whatever. And then that Comet just gave me one too. So I don't know. Maybe that's all that Comet can sell, Spanish language restaurant ads or whatever the fuck it was. So, all right, so. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to check.
So we're not covering NWA.
Well, no.
You're working real hard for this, for a show that you're going to regret having to review. You realize that?
Yeah. See, I think the issue with Power is I would prefer to just watch the specials. Like that's where we really thrived. Is our once a month check-ins, the Crockett Cup, the pay-per-views or whatever. That's where we really thrived. I don't know if we would ever thrive in a Power era.
That's all they do, and then they split them into 75 episodes.
Right. So I don't know that I'm totally down with that.
You're going to be 22 minutes into the first episode, and you're going to be like, I've had enough Danny Deals in my life for the next...
no. That's going to be the least of my problems is Danny Deals.
Yeah, well, you know what? Go get that rabbit ears and get it done and promise these people some Power reviews. I'm sure they'll appreciate them. Me, I'm out. I've been watching a lot of Shark Tank. I'm out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You watching new Shark Tank, old Shark Tank? Because there's still new ones out there.
YouTube.
Ah, the YouTube. All right.
The Shark Tank YouTube channels. They bunch them in groups. They're like they'll be like, it'll be like 17 minutes of the most aggressive companies, or it'll be like 18 minutes of Mark Cuban crashing out on, like they put them in categories for you, and then you, it'll be 13 minutes of Barbara arguing with Robert, but then they autoplay, and then I end up watching them for 6 hours.
Nice. Yeah. As one does.
I've watched the one where the guy, where none of them were interested in the Ring doorbell, which was oops. I guess they all whiffed on that one. Yeah, that was a misstep by the Sharks, I would say. But yeah, it's fun because then when you watch old Shark Tank, of course you have to Google the company.
Of course,
after you watch the thing. Like I don't spoil though. I don't spoil. I wait for the thing to play out.
Oh, right? Of course. Oh, yeah. You see who invested in it and you go, I don't know if that's going to work out. And then you look it up and
then in my head, like, no one's buying that shit. Let me Google this and see if they're out of business.
Right.
And shockingly, most of them are still in business. But you know what you get a lot of the time? You get, after the show, Mark Cuban never finalized the deal with, it's like they make the deal on TV, but then they never... Then when they get nuts and bolts of it, he's like, fuck that. I ain't investing.
It's a shitty business. I'm not doing that.
It's almost like the Sharks, they just want to beat each other on the air. They want to beat each other on the air. But then when it comes down to it, to brass tacks, as they say in the business.
A lawyer takes a look at something and goes, Mark, do you really want this? And he goes, not really. No, I don't. Okay.
They do a background check, and the guy's got like felonies on his record.
Right. Yeah, a lawyer and Mark's accountant and a couple other people to, run the numbers, and they're like, Mark, this is a terrible investment. He's like, yeah, I know. It's fine.
Yeah.
Looks good for the show, though. It looked good for the show. As an orphan, I can't say no to an orphan on the show, so I had to do it. But we can tell them safely no. But one of the things I do like to do is then like look and see how successful those guys. Like, are they alive? Okay, and then are they successful? And a lot of them, they don't seem that successful either. Like a lot of them, it's like it's like some random food product, and it's like they have 1,000 followers on Instagram or whatever. And I'm like, you should have more than that. You were on Shark Tank for God's sakes.
And you're like, oh, Lori took a bath on that one.
Yeah, right. The first picture is Lori with like the two women that started this fucking cookie company, and you're like, oh, this is not going.
Yeah.
This was a horrible idea. It still sucks, but that's all right.
Yeah.
It's cookie, but we make it with no flour. It's like, okay, great.
Always some bullshit.
Right.
And it's always too, they're always like, and we donate 20% of our proceeds to charity.
Right.
Fuck off. Like that gives me more reason not to invest in you. You're not keeping 20% of your fucking gross.
Yeah, you're still a new company. You should probably keep that gross for a little while.
Everybody wants to be Bombas giving fucking socks away. Just fucking sell shit. Let's establish ourselves before we start giving shit away. They're just looking for that early tax break when they're losing money hand over fist.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's what it is. But it sounds good. On TV. But one of my the thing that annoys me about, and they kind of laid it on thick there for a while. The early Shark Tanks they didn't, but it got a little too hokey in the later. And I think they're still making seasons, but I don't know. I just watch whatever is on like. Fucking headline news or not a headline news CNBC or something just shows like replays of it at night.
CNBC does show
all night. It's all they show because that's all cable is now is like whatever channel you're watching that channel has just picked one show that they now play every single day nonstop. Like TBS when Dynamite's not on is just The Office. Like nonstop. It's just 1,000 hours straight of The Office. MTV obviously just became fucking what's the ridiculousness. It was just everything. You'd look at MTV and it's like, what happened to MTV? One of the hallmark like pop culture, one of the most significant pop culture entities in our lifetime, and not that long ago, has now been reduced to just 22 hours straight of ridiculousness and then paid programming at like 1 to 3 a.m. It's like, what the hell happened?
And I always think that host is dead, but that was some other skateboard guy that died. It's not the guy that hosts that show.
No, he's good.
And on the panel is always that one woman that just laughs at everything and contributes nothing. Like they'll usually have like a comedian who contributes a little, and then that girl who just contributes absolutely
just giggles.
Nothing.
She just giggles,
But she gets booked on every show. I just get the world's easiest job. I mean, she just sits there like an imbecile and just giggles at everything and contributes absolutely nothing. It's incredill.
It's a good
We
gig.
should bring her in as our third chair.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, not a bad idea.
Put over our bad jokes and giggle, and we'll look like we're Kevin Hart and Chris Rock over here, because putting everything over. She's an easy audience. Yeah, but you're right. These channels, it's just the same show for like 20 hours a day.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But so the like mid-season of Shark Tank would get, the person would come up here and say like, yeah, I make cookies and I don't use oats and I don't use anything that is good. And the cookies they're only 2 ingredients. And then they're like, okay. And they're like, so why did you make cookies that are only 2 ingredients? And then they like start crying. And it's like, oh, my mom died of, she was allergic to oats. So I don't use oats. And it's like, every time it's like with the waterworks and it's just this like weird, like, so I was inspired to start this company because and it's just like, oh god, all right, well, I'm kind of with like Mr. Wonderful. I'm like, all right, let's go, let's run the numbers here, like profit loss, but let's come on. All right, I don't care.
We're inspired to make money. What do you got for us?
Right.
And I love the ones too that come on and they're like, hello sharks, I'm asking for $75 million for 0.5% of my company. And they're very clearly just there to get their company on TV. They have no interest in finding an investor. So they make the offer so bad. And then they always cut to the sharks and like Barbara will be like, whoa, writing down on her notepad. Yeah. And Damon's like chuckling as he's writing in his notepad.
Yeah, Mark will usually interrupt that guy and just be like, I'm out. Just for the record, I'm out. And there was one time where I remember he stood up and he's like, this isn't a joke. And I'm like, oh, come on, Mark. It is Shark Tank. Like, reel it in a little bit. But he was very upset at a guy. And he was like, you're just on here to like promote your company. Get the fuck out of here.
And then they're like, what are your sales? And they're like, $12,000. Right.
But we're set to get to 25,000 this year, and it's like, all right, yeah.
So let me get this straight: you have a $47 million valuation with $12,000 in sales. Yeah, they're just there to get on the fucking show. So people Google their stupid fucking oatless cookies. That's the whole point. Oh man, it's so good. I can't stop watching it though.
It's addicting.
It is. Once it starts going, I can't stop.
Yeah, and they've tapped into like the human aspect of you just burying the people because they come out and they're like, "Hi, sharks," and you're like, "Fuck this guy!" Like I'm done with this guy already.
Like, and I hate that they have to call them sharks. Like,
it's
so, like,
hi, sharks.
It's like
we're Tim and Tina. We're Tim and Tina. We're Tim and Tina. It's like, oh my god, we got a whole fucking routine. All right, Tim and Tina, what do you got?
When they convene with themselves, so sometimes like, we got to talk, and the sharks are like, go ahead. They'll even say it to each other, like, oh well, the sharks are making us some good offers, Tina. What do you think? Because it's like they have to use the WWE branded verbiage. Yes. They have to call them sharks. Even when they talk amongst themselves. It's so corny. Can't stop though.
It's a very good show. There's a reason it's been on for 10, 15 years at this point.
Oh God, longer than that, right? I mean, we're talking like, yeah, maybe closer to 20, right? When did Shark Tank debut? Let's see. Another idea we stole from Britain. When did Shark Tank? They call it something else, Bear's Den or something.
2009. 2009. Wow.
Yeah, see? Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
What was that shit called in England? The fucking Eagle's Nest? The Bear's Den?
The Badgers Nadgers, I believe is what it's called. Yeah.
The Badgers Nadgers.
I believe that's Scottish. Don't quote. That was what our Scottish friend said when we got mad about Gallus. So don't.
Fuck. Where is it? Oh, Bombas was on there. I didn't realize that.
Was Bombas? Okay. I remember Scrub Daddy is the one I always remember too. That one's still. Now they're a prominent kitchen staple these days. Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, Shingo Takagi is one of the guys.
Yeah, Dragon.
Sitting there in his pose, he's got his arms crossed with his legs crossed. That'd be great.
Yeah. The ones I hate are when like when they come on, they're trying to sell a dating app. I just roll my eyes. The problem is every dating app is a massive success when you look it up. Like dating apps you've never heard of.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, they're grossing $47 billion over. It's like, how? But I guess people will never stop trying to fuck. So
no, and the idea is like, because I've seen some people and they're like, they don't stick to just one app. Like if you meet, like I don't hang out with that many like single and like eligible people these days, like that are really out there. But like the people that I do know, they have like 5 apps and they're just switching between them all the time and refreshing. And I'm like, my God, what a weird inhuman way this is to date. Like, yes, I did find my, future wife on a, a dating app or whatever, but it just seemed more pure back in my day. Now it's just like, man, you see these refresh and like I watch guys and they're just like boom, 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 boom. They're like you. They're just like the swiping. And I'm like, my God, you have no idea. Like you're just going so fast. And they're like, oh, I've seen all these girls before. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean,
because I just watch them and there's just like 100 of them go, and I'm like, whoa, hold on. I'm like, that would look fine. Oh, you don't know? I've seen her. Yeah, she's a weirdo. Okay, all right. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
horse girl. She's a horse girl. Okay, all right, fine.
It's true though. When you're on those apps, you start to see the same people on multiple apps. Like you see them repeated. You're like, oh, I had a dead end conversation with that one or whatever.
Tiffany
not,
26 is back again. I don't have. I'm done with Tiffany 26. I've had enough time with her. So.
Well, my whole thing with Tinder when I was using it was I would just not even look at it. I would just be watching a game or something, and I would just swipe right until it said you're out of people to match. And then I'd go look at it a few hours later and I'd see whatever I caught in my wide net, and then I would filter them out from there. You know what I mean? There's like, I'm not sitting there rubbing my chin going, should I go right or left on Vanessa here? No, fuck
right.
that.
See, that's what I would do, and that's why it'd be very inefficient. So
yeah, like just swipe right on everybody, because you're not obligated to like talk to them if you match with them. You could always just delete them or block them if you matched with a sea creature. It's no big deal. You just don't talk to her. So you just swipe right on everyone, and that way you're seeing every conceivable match within the mile limit that you have set. You have to game it, especially if you're a dude, because I'm sure you know the stats with guys versus girls on those things. Like,
yes,
you're not getting any fucking matches. No. So you just have to swipe right on everybody, and then the next morning you have 2 or 3 matches, and then you're like, all right, can I work with any of these? And then you go from there. You sort it out later. You don't even look. Like, I'd just be watching the Reds, just swiping right, not even looking at the fucking phone until there were no more pictures, because you can empty it. Like once you swipe everyone, you get a message that says, I'm sorry, there's no more that fit your parameters or whatever it says, So you either then have to slide your mileage higher or change your age range or whatever, but yeah, you can run out. Absolutely. Then you go back a week later and there's like another 100 and you just swipe right on all those. It's the only fucking way to do it. I mean, there's no other way to even have a modicum of success on there. You can't sit there and think about it and be like, let me read her profile. Fuck that. Read the profile later if she matches with you. You're just wasting time if you're reading the profile now, because there's a 99.9% chance she's not going to match with you anyway. So what the fuck are you reading the profile for? What are you hyping yourself up for? You're going to get all excited about Vanessa.
Yeah, Vanessa 29. You're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool
You're like,
hobbies,
oh my God, she likes everything I like, and she's look how she's hot. Even her third picture looks good, because it's always the third picture is the real picture. Like the first picture is the greatest picture they've ever taken in their life. The second picture is still bullshit. The third picture is where it gets real. The third picture is what that motherfucker really looks like. The third picture onward. Okay. So like, all right, she's got a good third picture. I like but here's the thing. Vanessa, 29, who lives 4 miles away and loves all the things you love, she might not ever log into that app again. She might already be fucking Ken, or be fucking Bob, or married Peter already, or just got tired of all the shithead guys on the app. So you're wasting time breaking all of this down. Just swipe right on everybody, Vanessa and the sea creatures, and then you sort it out after you get your matches. That's how you do it. So that's a little tip for the single guys out there. A little tip for you fellas.
This is old school. This is a flagship from 10 years ago. Yeah, where you'd come on here and give a lot of Tinder advice. So there you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Are there any, like, I don't know what the new, I know there's Hinge is a big one now. I don't know anything about Hinge.
And Bumble.
Yeah, I don't know anything about these ones at all.
Well, the Bumble gimmick is, I think Bumble is the one, or maybe it's
the women have to start it, right?
They have to start the conversation,
yeah,
like
which is fine, which is a good idea.
It is a
having
good idea.
seen women's message inboxes on these other apps. That is a great idea.
Great idea, and not only is it a great idea from the standpoint of making it easier for women and everything, it makes it easier for the men. You don't have to come up with some starter. You know what I mean? Like it's more convenient for you as the dude too. Like you don't have to sit there and try to think about what your opening is gonna be, because they have to hit you up first. So Actually, men should all welcome that too. I was out of the game by the time that those newfangled apps came out. Coffee meets bagel, all that bullshit. Fuck that. But I was a
there was one I remember back in the day. It was like Just Lunch was for like the working folks. I don't know if that was a localized thing or all over the place, but it was it called Let's Have Lunch or Just Lunch or whatever?
Yeah,
and it was a gimmick to be like, are you a young hot professional? Like you can,
right?
You know, you work in this high rise in this city, and this person works in a high rise next to your high rise. So you guys can meet for lunch during work time, and it's like, oh God, it seems so impersonable.
Yeah, Just Lunch, and then someone in the chat said there's a farmers one. Yeah, farmers
Farmers Only. Yeah, that's a historic one. Yeah,
remember I had the classic Flagship story of Farmers Only, where I was talking to the girl on FarmersOnly.com, but that's like a website. It's not a swiping app. And I like lied and said that I was like I knew about hay and all this shit. So remember this story where I went and bought the belt buckle? I went to the boot store and bought the belt buckle, and I'm standing in line to buy the belt buckle. I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Like, Joe, this is like also that house of cards is going to fall at some point.
Yeah.
Like, how long were you going to go with the facade of I'm an outdoorsy farmer guy? Like that there would be a time where she'd be like, all right, well, come on over and like help me, and you're like, I don't really know how to, like, you know.
It's like, this isn't gonna work out. Like, I know the show didn't exist at the time, but I'd be like Stallone rolling up in Tulsa King. Like, she's gonna know immediately that I'm a liar. You know, there's no way I could pull this off.
Yeah, there's no way you would be able to wear a belt buckle and have it like come across organic. Like you would walk in and then immediately you could tell that you were Fugazi, like.
Yeah,
rancher.
I'm wearing my fucking belt buckle. I'm like, how you doing? You know, she's like, what?
right.
Surely you don't know about horses. I'm like, I know betting on horses, but I don't know how to fucking comb a horse's mane. You know, it's similar, I guess. Yeah, so that was like I was like, what am I doing? I think I ended up meeting her though, and that's the one who pulled up in the minivan, and when she slid the door back, there was like a kid in the back seat.
Oh yeah,
a surprise kid. That's the problem. Like
surprise.
You can't.
Yeah, it's one
have
thing
a
to say.
surprise
Look, I have nobody that could watch the kid.
Right.
Just so you know, like that's. But yeah, surprise kid is tough. That's tough.
I'm like, what do we got over here? Like, this is a surprise. Like, I wasn't ready for this. You kind of caught me off guard with the kid. Are we going to Chuck E. Cheese? Like, what are we doing here? So that I think that was the same girl, as a matter of fact, the one I met on FarmersOnly.com, and then finally I had to just get the fuck off there. And let me tell you something about FarmersOnly.com. I don't know if it still exists, but it lives up to the stereotypes. It absolutely lives up to the
That's good. I'm glad. There's not like, hot girls that just happen to wear a cowboy hat at like a bachelorette party. It's real deal farmers.
No, like if you read TLB and I spent an entire Saturday night once just laughing at the profiles because they're just so on the nose,
Especially by you. Yeah, that's got to be really good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, forget it.
Because you, for people that don't know, like when in the Tinder Mahal days, there'd be women that would like their second picture would be them mauling like a deer, and they'd have like blood all over them and like a deer head next to them, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're dressing an animal.
This is insane. And that was like their normal profile. That was like their like Tinder profile was
correct.
Hot picture with me at a bar. Oh, and my next picture is I'm drenched in deer blood, and here's a dead deer.
Tinder down here. Oh, for sure. Like there were so many like women in their fatigues holding up like a fucking elk by the fucking horns, dead. Like, yeah, that would be very common.
So I can't imagine what the Farmers Only looks like if that's what the normal dating apps looked like.
Well, the Farmers Only is like you're really looking. It's like it's kind of like more like an eHarmony-ish. You're really looking to meet someone. You're not looking to like, So it's a little more.
Yeah.
It's a little classier.
They're looking to raise a family that can work on the farm with you.
It's not a hookup app. It's not a hookup. Like me, I was prowling Tinder, Craigslist casual encounters, Plenty of Fish, which is just forget it.
Yeah, Plenty of Fish was known as just the straight up like.
Plenty of Fish is just. I mean, the rule of thumb on Plenty of Fish, and everybody knew this back in those days, was if the profile said, first of all, if you're just looking to hook up, then you can move along. Those are the ones you email immediately. Like that was just everyone knew. Like, all right, that's total nonsense. And it always was. But everyone on Plenty of Fish is basically there to fuck, but they don't want to say they're on Tinder because Tinder sounds trashier than Plenty of Fish. But yeah, those were my three main haunts.
Not good for you.
But now the Craigslist casual encounters, that was
those are the darker days, but
those are those days were very dark. Those are some dark. Those were Alaska 24 hours of darkness days. Those were some very dark days. Oh my God. Putting up ads at 3 a.m. and just whoever answers. All right, fine. Here's my ad.
Sure, whatever.
You don't have a picture. Oh, whatever. Just who cares? I'll see you when you get to the door. Just
man.
Brutal. Very brutal.
Armadillos are nocturnal. So circling back, that's probably why you don't. That's probably why you don't see them very often driving, but you see them dead all the time. So,
yes.
All right. Timestamp that. Everyone, where are the timestamps? How would you timestamp that? Well, we just did there for 40 minutes. You want timestamps? I think timestamps are inhuman. And how would you timestamp it? I'd like to see Spotify's AI figure out how to timestamp that.
Well, it's going to.
Yeah, I'd like to see what they come up with for whatever that
try
is.
To figure it out.
Well, God bless Spotify.
Joe buys a belt buckle trying to fuck a farmer. Like that's going to be one of the timestamps.
And then at 40 minutes, armadillos are nocturnal. The statement, the declared statement. It's got to be wild. Imagine if you have never listened to our show ever before and you're just like scrolling Spotify. And you're like, what's this professional wrestling podcast? Let's see if they talked about WWE Raw. No, they did not. They talked about armadillos and belt buckles.
Casting a wide net on Tinder.
Right. All right. Before we get to the Thursday Dynamite review, there is a company that is after my heart that is at it again. So last year, you may have recalled, right around the same time, we probably did this topic on the flagship. It was last year. Okay. Remember Masked Mania? We talked about them a little bit last year. So last year, they are run by Masked Republic, which is run by some man named Ruben Zamora and Kevin Kleinrock. Now, do you remember Kevin Kleinrock? He was one of the co-creators of Wrestling Society X. Mm-hmm. So he's been around the game for a long, long time. And they were part of Masked Republic, which was a company that 15 years ago, I think it was a little bit more relevant when they wanted to license lucha merchandise in America and try to spread lucha along America. But at post Lucha Underground, I think you don't really have to do that anymore. And obviously today you really don't have to do that anymore. I think that lucha has definitely made it to the mainstream, at least on a pretty decent level between AEW and WWE. I think a lot of people are fucking aware of Lucha Libre. Well, last year, they decided around Cinco de Mayo to run 2 gigantic shows. One of them was in Duluth, Georgia, and the other one was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, neither of these shows sold well at all. When we did an update on our Patreon, was April 3rd, 2025, and that was just a couple, what was it, 20, let me see, just 30 days. 30 days left until the shows were going to happen. The Duluth, Georgia show at that point, they set the building up for 3,833, and they had only sold 652 tickets, which was not going to work. And then they were also going to do a show at the Bojangles Colosseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. They set that up for 3,272, and they only sold 378 tickets for that. So I did a post on Patreon just kind of digging into it, trying to figure out why the fuck they ran these giant buildings, who thought that was a good idea. And apparently everybody thought it wasn't a very good idea because the shows got canceled a week or two later. So that was it for Masked Mania. It was all right, they tried this ambitious Cinco de Mayo weekend type stuff, and it just wasn't going to work at all. It was a disaster, so that didn't happen. So I completely forgot about Masked Mania and Masked Republic and all that sort of stuff and their Cinco de Mayo shows until I was on WrestleTix. I was on WrestleTix today to check out what was going on with Dynamite, because obviously the Dynamite show that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Great number for Dynamite this week, and wanted to check out a couple things for what's going on with AEW more than anything in terms of attendances, because I think it's some interesting story to talk about right now. And Joe, they are back. Masked Mania is back again, running shows, not necessarily Cinco de Mayo weekend, but throughout the spring and early summer here in America. And Joe, it is not going well again for Masked Mania. So they're running a show Friday, May 15th from the Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas. That's outside of Dallas, right? Frisco.
Yeah, I think so. It's somewhere up there.
Okay. I'm not going to do that. Hey, how close are you to Frisco? Because you're 4.5 hours. Very far away. It's a large state. So Masked Mania Lucha Libre Mexicana is what the name of these shows are. Now, by the way, these are like lucha shows that are trying to get to American fans and trying to get to, Western fans, or for lack of a better term, to try to get them to go to Lucha Libre shows. So they're very branded as like, hey, this lucha thing's really unique, isn't it? Wow, they have masks and they fly, like all that sort of stuff. So they are going to be at the Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas. That building, they have set it up for 4,379. Joe, they have sold 1,114 tickets, so not terrible. I mean, it's a big building, and that's not enough tickets sold, but that's for May 15th. So they have 15 days now to sell the remaining 3,265 tickets. Well, things are not going well for the day after, because the day after they are on their way to Enid, Oklahoma. Enid. I think it's pronounced Enid, Oklahoma. Now I know you spent some time in the Oklahoma region during your days as a regional manager, or whatever the heck your title was. Are you familiar with Enid, Oklahoma at all?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's some suburb of Oklahoma City, it looks like. I don't know anything about Enid, Oklahoma, but they're running a show, Masked Mania Wrestling, Saturday, May 16th from the Stride Bank Center in Enid, Oklahoma. Set up for 3,184. And Joe, as of 6 hours ago, they have sold 255 tickets. So there are 2,929 tickets available for the show in 16 days from Enid, Oklahoma, Masked Mania Wrestling. And then in June, they're going to Bangor, Maine, the Cross Insurance Center, June 13th for Masked Mania Lucha Libre Mexicana. Set up the building for 3,366, and they have sold 216 tickets. So why are we doing this again? Wouldn't last year be a really good indication that it's not working and that your thing is a joke and nobody wants to buy tickets to your thing? But hey,
what's the business plan here?
I don't
Enid,
know.
Oklahoma and Bangor, Maine.
I don't know. So last year, I know when I talked about it, I think it was like Duluth, Georgia, or whatever they were running. We had somebody that lived around there, and they said like Duluth is actually, like, believe it or not, is pretty high Hispanic population, so it kind of makes sense to do that. The problem is they were running these shows like literally on Cinco de Mayo, and it's like nobody wants to go to watch shitty lucha in Duluth, Georgia on actual Cinco de Mayo. Like, so I guess this year they decided, well, we're going to try to do that, but we're going to do it like on days that aren't Cinco de Mayo. We'll do it the week after Cinco de Mayo, and it's not working very well. I don't know anything about Enid, Oklahoma. I don't know anything about Frisco, Texas. I don't know anything about Bangor, Maine, and like the number of, the Hispanic population there. But it's really, they're going for like American wrestling fans to try to get them interested in lucha, and I don't understand why that business still exists. But there you go. So it did not work out last year. And I don't think it's going to work out this year as well. The Frisco, Texas, that's fine. But, man, the Enid, Oklahoma, 3,184, and they have 255 out. They have sold 255 tickets. And WrestleTix did an update 7 days ago, and they sold 14 tickets since that time. That's so sad.
I just don't understand the point. You failed once. What are we doing?
It's so weird.
Work.
Yeah,
they have to know it's not going to work. Is it some kind of tax write-off? Is it like what's happening here?
I would love to know. Yeah, I'd like to learn a little bit more about what the hell it is. I think they're going to have. I'm looking at their talent lineup, and it looks like Vampiro will be on. He'll probably he'll have a retirement match on one of those shows. L.A. Park Jr., L.A. Park, and Hio del L.A. Park will all be there. The Los Parks. The Los Pirates, Pirata Morgan, and the Pirata Morgan family will be there. Sam Adonis.
Will they, though? Will they be there?
Well, I don't know.
Are these people all going to be there?
Probably not. Demos will be there. It takes a real drop after the Parks and Vampiro. It takes a real drop in terms of the talent roster afterwards. Yeah. But there you go. So, yeah, we'll see if they cancel them like they did last year, because they just straight up didn't even run the shows last year. I think they said for unforeseen circumstances, aka nobody could sell a fucking ticket, we decided to bounce. So
I'm assuming the Knicks won.
They were up like 71-22 the last I saw. So yeah, I think they won.
All right. Well, that's my phone just will not stop blowing up.
Oh, that guy. Come
that guy. Singular? What are you talking about?
I know one of your friends is a
You don't get it. It's more than one.
Okay, well,
And that explains. I don't have to grab my phone then. I'm not getting a wrestling scoop. I guess the Knicks must have just put
took
the
them
Hawks
6 games to put away the Atlanta Hawks. So let's not maybe stop the ticker tape parade a little bit.
Have you met a Knick fan before?
I have, unfortunately, and I know.
There you go.
Yeah. I think all the famous Nick memes of them all outside of Madison Square Garden was them beating the Atlanta Hawks in a playoff series, right? Wasn't that a couple years ago? Yeah. It's like, okay.
I think that's I
you beat Trae Young and fucking all right, cool.
What's Trae Young up to these days?
He is a Washington Wizard.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Because guess what happened? The Atlanta Hawks said, you know what? This guy stinks. Let's get him off our team. They got him off their team, and then guess what? They ended up turning things around in the second half of the season and made a playoff run.
Well, it's
funny how that works.
Trae Young fighting for usage with John Wall over in Washington. Is
Wall's dunzo. Wall's dunzo. They have acquired Trae Young, and they also have Anthony Davis. They became the dumping grounds for every team to be like,
that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Do you want our bad, expensive player? And they're like, yeah, we need some stars here in Washington. Right. So, okay.
Gonna make Wes Unseld proud.
Right. Well, here you go. Yeah.
I see John Wall hasn't been a Washington Wizard since 2019.
It's been a while. So it's been a while.
Pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic. So. Yeah, he was a Clipper there for a little while.
Try to keep up, Joe.
A little bit. I like that. That's an okay reference. An okay reference. You did say Mitch Richmond, so we'll let it slide. So.
I used to play a game with my friends. I don't know why. The things we used to do were just absurd. These are the kind of things that people do now, but they put them on TikTok. But we were doing them in the smartphone era. Like if we'd be at the mall or just doing whatever dumb kids do, and we'd see some random person with like name a random sports team, Washington Wizards, for example, a Washington Wizards like baseball cap. We would bet on how many current Washington Wizards that person could name.
Oh, you're one of those guys that walked up to him and said, all right,
we would walk up to them.
Shot, yeah.
You know, and we'd have rules, though. Like if we'd see someone with a Cincinnati Reds cap, for example, it would be like, name that tune. It'd be like, I think that guy can name 4 current Reds. And then maybe you'd say, I don't know. I think he can name 5, and then you'd throw your money down. But we'd have special rules, too, because it would be like, all right, but if he says Pete Rose, he's instantly disqualified and I win the bet. Like if it's some ex-player that's been gone. Like I just said with John Wall, who was on the Wizards a half a decade ago. So that's the dumb shit we used to do out and about in malls and everywhere else.
Did people like that? You guys coming up to them and asking? I feel like there's especially... I feel like hats are a little tough to do that with because there's a lot of people that are like, look, I just like the logo and I like the color, man.
Well, that's the point. You have to size them up and say, is that just a guy wearing a hat for
okay,
fashion?
so that's part of the game.
That's part of the game.
Okay, it's like this guy looks like a real fan. Like, okay.
Yeah, because then we'd be like, that. There's no way that guy's a Brewers fan. We would,
right. That guy, no way.
That guy's not a Brewers fan. Give me a break. His hat matches his shoes. That's totally for fashion, But so then I tell you, like, probably 95% of the people would be good sports about it because we would explain it. It's all in the approach. You say, listen, and you don't bother somebody like if they're eating a meal or something. You do it like if they're just, standing around somewhere or
walking outside of Zoomies or whatever you do.
Yeah.
Suncoast after they leave Suncoast. I'm trying to put myself in 2001 New Jersey malls.
But 2001 Menlo Park Mall in Edison, New Jersey. It's but they'd be like people our age, so they'd go with it. As long as you approach it in a fun way, they would go with it.
You definitely have to avoid White Sox hats. I would say is that instant disqualification the White Sox hat because like so many people wear the White Sox hat and so few people care for the White Sox. It's just a great logo and a great hat.
I can tell you right now, most of the time we did it. Bet on the under. No one's wearing a hat. Like they almost never would be fans of the team. But every now and then you'd get one. It'd be like some guy wearing a Mariners hat and he's running off guys in the bullpen and you're like, all right, this guy's fucking legit. So every now and then you'd get one. But most of the time they didn't know shit. They couldn't even name one guy most of the time.
I was wearing a White Sox hat all weekend at Mania weekend, and there was a couple people that would walk up to me and be like, are you like actually a White Sox fan? I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, okay, cool. And they're like, they wanted to talk because they were so badly like, oh, another White Sox fan in the wild or whatever. Let me talk to this guy. Like here in Chicago, obviously, you don't have to do that. You could just assume that most people wearing a White Sox hat at least, have some idea about what's going on. And there's some people that just wear the logo. But out like if you're traveling, like it's always like. And White Sox fans, there's so few of us here in Chicago that when we see one out in the wild, it's like, oh, I got to talk to this guy for sure. So you have to make sure though, because if you go up to a guy and you're like, yeah, how about Murakami, and they're like, what? Like I just like it because Dr. Dre wore it. You're like, oh, okay, that's fine. It's a fashionable hat, man. Don't talk to me about the fucking White Sox fifth starter issues. Like I don't really want to talk about it. But because they always size you up a little bit, and you get the like, are you like actually a White Sox fan? You just like the logo. I'm like, no, I am. They're like, oh, all right, cool, yeah. How about Murakami? He's awesome. Yeah. So that was fun. That was fun happening. Yeah. During Mania weekend. But yeah, White Sox, I don't know. It's probably the similar thing with Yankees hats for you in the East Coast. But
well, we would never go up to someone with a Yankee hat because we were in New Jersey. That'd be stupid. Like there's a high probability that they're a Yankee fan. You know what I mean? Like
right.
The point is to find like if when we'd see a weird hat in the wild. Somebody wearing a Seattle Seahawks hat. That's the guy you go up to.
Right.
You don't go up to the guy wearing a Mets hat. That's not. There's no fun in that.
I was always that guy. I always had hats of like random ass teams. Like that was one of my favorite things. I would get like shirt jerseys from like random ass teams too and wear those all the time. That used to be but if you challenged me on, hey, can you name, X amount of Seattle Mariners, I definitely could at any point in my life. So I never bought a hat. Fan. Yeah. I'm a huge sports fan. So I knew, anytime if somebody came up to me and was like, hey, name 6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like it'd be no problem. Of course I could name that, but
yeah.
Good times, yeah. Mall. Grant Akuma says, this might sound insane to people too young for mall culture, but back in the day, people literally just hung out at the mall.
Yeah, that's right.
You
that's
just parked,
what I mean.
you walked in,
around the mall.
And that was your day.
Yeah, you just stood there. Somewhere in and around the food court, probably. But, yeah, you just hang around the mall. You just hang around. Maybe do a lap or two, but, yeah, you're just hanging around the mall. Looking for girls, whatever the fuck, It's like if you're with a pack of guys, you're looking for that pack of girls. And you follow them around like a creep. You wait to pick up the vibes. If there's no vibes, you peel off into lids and act like you weren't following them. But if you're picking up some vibes, you're getting some looks back, then your pack of guys, you harass the pack of girls and then you follow those vibes and you see where it's going to go. Yeah, that's what you do. You go to food court, you go to Taco John's, get a couple tacos, whatever the case. Go to Macy's basement and play Madden on fucking Turbo Graphics for free, whatever. So, I just hung out at the mall.
It was better. It was better time for sure.
Cut school and go to the mall, You plan it out the day before on the school bus. Hey, guys, let's cut tomorrow and go to the mall. And then someone will be like, yeah, I think I could steal $20 out of my mom's purse. And be like, oh, shit, $20, forget it. Keep us entertained all day with $20. Between that $20 bill and the $1.50 lunch money that the rest of us had, forget it.
It's over.
We're living large in the mall all day. I'm getting my USA Today and reading the box scores like a 65-year-old man.
And then I promise we will get to the Thursday Dynamite review. But we have someone in the chat room that says, could you always name those players? This was pre-phone. Here's the thing. Pre-phone, even easier to remember everybody because you had to. And when I was a kid, I would get the sports every morning. My dad would be finished with it. After he was done doing whatever he did in the morning, I would grab the sports and I would read every fucking line of the entire sports section, every box score, I would know all that sort of stuff. Every sports season, I would read the preview magazines about every single team. Throughout the year, I was probably playing fantasy sports at that time, or I was playing the video games that featured the guys. Of course, I knew everybody on every team.
Yeah. More
pre-phone is even easier. Yeah, like the phone now makes it easier to just go, oh yeah, let me look up who's on the,
I don't need to know it. I could just Google it.
Right, but then I had to know everybody that were on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah. So it was even easier in those days to remember everything because you had to, and I had the time to do it. And so why not just read? I mean, the people understand like just poring over box scores. You'd get the fucking bowl of cereal and sit there and be like, the Rays had 5 runs in the 8th. Wow. Who got those hits? And you're looking and you're like, wow, all right.
Yeah.
Tanyan Sturts really got roughed up there, but it doesn't. Rocco Baldelli really helped him pull it out. So there you go,
Jay Bell went 3 for 4 with a double. All right.
Right. Good for the Rays. Good for those Devil Rays. Yeah, they're 35 72, but they're offense is coming together a little bit.
And the Sunday paper did the stats, the full stats for the whole league every Sunday.
Yeah. So I read every fucking line of that. Are you kidding me?
You had nowhere else to see it. Like, you had to get the Sunday paper, and it would have the batting statistics for every player in the league in order. And you want to see who the worst hitter in the league was. You go right down to the bottom of the list, to see who was hitting 180. Yeah, that's how you had to do it. USA Today, I think it was Tuesdays, they would have the NBA stats. If you didn't get that Tuesday paper, that's it. You fucking missed it. You had to wait till next Tuesday if you wanted to know how many points per game Latrell Sprewell was averaging. Right. Like, you once you missed it, you missed it.
It was over, yeah.
Tuesday to come around again, or you had to hope they were playing the Knicks and they'd tell you on TV. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, paper was essential when you go to cut school and go to the mall.
God, I miss the paper.
Did you see there's a couple different websites that replicate the baseball newspaper box score style?
No, tell me about where are they right now?
Okay, you can go to thebaseballcube.com.
Okay, I remember thebaseballcube.com. Yeah, have they changed?
It looks like the sports page in your paper in 1997 with the box scores and the standings, and it's the same format and everything. And then the other one is
I see daily newspaper. Yeah, let's see here. Let's see if it tingles the senses here. Oh, it does. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, see, it hits.
Oh, yes. Batting leaders, parentheses, AVG. Oh.
Can I give you another one?
God, I love it. All right, yeah, what do you got?
Type this in exactly how I read it to you.
All right, one sec here. One sec. All right.
WAL DRN.com / box scores. Wait till you see this page.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Look at this. Scroll down to the box scores.
Oh, yeah. Oh, beautiful.
That's what you want? That's the format you want?
Yeah. Yes.
And let me tell you something. Now, I'm sitting here watching all the games anyway, but first thing I do in the morning is I pull up one of these two sites.
This is great.
Brings it all back. Look, it's got the leaders. Look at the leaders. And it has it in the same format. Y Alvarez, Houston, 39 hits.
Right. Guerrero Jr. with no spaces and no dot after Jr.
It's got all the leaders for you. It's just like opening the paper.
God, this is great. Yeah.
Like, fuck MLB.com. I go here.
No, yeah, that's all.
Look at the box score. Haggerty with the little number 1 next to him ran for Nimmo in the 5th. Absolutely. This is the shit right here.
This is it. Yeah. I love the standings the way they have them too.
Yeah.
Last 10. I mean, come on. It's so important to know how they're like, oh, man.
It just hits the nostalgia instantly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you know that I. Vargas from Arizona was leading the league in batting average?
I did.
You didn't know that until this moment.
See?
Yeah.
I didn't know that shit, but now I do again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need a fucking game story. I don't need Aaron Judge continues hot. No. Give me
fucking highlights in like real form.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Fuck you. I want to slide my finger down a newspaper and get the black ink on my finger as I'm doing it, as I'm reading the box. That's what I want. And this gives you that feel.
Oh, you can print a PDF from this website too. My God, I'm going to start doing this.
So I don't know which one you prefer, this site or the other one.
I think I like the Waldron or whatever this thing is. Yeah, this one is perfect. The Baseball Cube one's not bad, but this one's hitting perfect.
Yeah, Baseball Cube though, like it has hyperlinks. So like if you click a team, it'll bring you to the team stats. And all that.
No, I don't
but
even want to do that.
now we're getting too fancy.
Yeah,
now we're getting too
That.
fancy.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
we're getting too fancy. Like I don't need the Baseball Cube for that because I have Fangraphs and MLB.com.
No, I'm going to go to work, print this PDF out, and then anytime I shit throughout the day, I'm bringing that fucking piece of paper in with me, and I'm going to say, who's eighth in RBIs in the NL? And I'll be able to get that information immediately.
The old classic transactions. So and so was
a lot of releases,
the minors.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Oh God,
so good.
It's great. Yeah. Holds. I don't know who has hold. I don't know who gets holds anymore. But now I do again. This will help me.
Now you know who gets holds.
Because I never know who gets holds anymore. But now I will again. Yeah.
Like, oh, look at that. Tony Santion has 6 holds. All right.
Good job. You're doing your job as a reliever.
Good job, Tone. Yeah. Eighth inning weapon. Didn't realize that.
Oh, God. All right.
Stupid.
Technology sucks. Anyway. The technology's letting us do this thing, at least. That's kind of cool. So anyway, let's finally get to the Thursday Dynamite review. As we said, we did not do this on it was not a breakaway show on the Flagship Patreon.com $5 tier this week. Instead, we brought it to the Flagship because I watched the show and just made sense to do it this week. Light show with some other topics.
Yeah, this was a Rich Craich decision. I got the text message as I was watching Dynamite, and I jump on any opportunity to push it to the Flagship, especially when the Reds are playing a day game. I mean, it makes my life so much easier because then I either have to make the decision. I either got to do the Dynamite review at like 3 o'clock in the morning and release it early, or I got to get up super early before the Red game starts. And I'm in the Central Time Zone, remember? So the game starts at like 11:30. So, yeah, so it was, I quickly agreed to pushing it to the Flagship this week.
So let's do this. So Thursday Dynamite review. I don't want to step on your toes here because this is your thing. So,
well, I think people like to hear your opinion on this shit sometimes after hearing nothing but my opinion on it. So I think it's also good from that standpoint to every now and then do these on this show. So
for sure. Yeah.
I'll lead you through.
That's fine. Yeah. And the big reason why I thought about this too is because I was watching the full episode of Dynamite. I'd pretty much seen it all. And I know that there's a lot of people that say, and it's kind of an interesting thing because I think we do so much AEW content here. But somebody brought up a good point. I read this a couple weeks ago, and they're like, you guys pretty much never talk about AEW on the Flagship. Like, you will preview a pay-per-view and maybe talk about big picture stuff sometimes. But for the most part, you guys don't talk AEW on the actual Flagship because you do the Thursday Dynamite review. I don't want to come back then an hour later, a couple hours later and say, all right, let's talk about the Dynamite again. We're not one of those guys that's going to review the same show twice. And then, a lot of times we'll do like Collision stuff, but you'll do it on like a Flagship Plus or whatever. And then we do the instant reaction lives for the AEW pay-per-views. And that's when we really dig in to our thoughts on AEW. But for the most part, the Flagship is kind of an AEW free zone other than on the week of a pay-per-view. So, probably should do more AEW than we do, but that's all right.
Really just week before because we don't even do it on the week after because we do it on the instant reaction live. Review. We don't even do the reviews. So really the only time we do AEW on this show would be on when we preview the pay-per-views or if there's a big story.
Yeah, if there's a major story, we'll do it. But yeah, we don't really like talk about the week to week very much on this show. So
yeah, if you want,
I'm not saying we're going to do that a lot, moving forward, but I just think it's something we should probably be more mindful of and try to do a little bit more.
I agree. And plus, like, again, people never hear what you think about any of this because I'm the one doing the Dynamite review. And then I'm also the one doing Collision. What would you say? Maybe 80% of the weeks I do Collision. I don't do it every week.
Yeah. Not every week, but about 80%.
Collision like 80% of the weeks on a Flagship Plus. So no one really hears what you have to say, but they'll hear what you have to say this week. So we open up with the Kevin Knight MJF TNT title match. Kevin Knight challenged him last week. Classic babyface, maybe more guts than brains, right? What sense does it make to just give MJF a title shot for no apparent reason? Just, I guess, because he wants his win back for when MJF beat him in that world title match a couple of months back. The fucking heat for this. I mean, that was primarily what's in my notes. I know there's a lot of people who don't like MJF, and I get it. I do. I don't want to do that whole thing. I understand why people don't like him.
They're starting to come across very like...
I agree. It's like,
look, at this point, it's like you're lost. This guy is phenomenal right now.
Look, you can like who you like and not like who you don't like. But the bottom line is you do have to admit that the guy is a huge net positive.
Yeah.
For the heat was just off the charts here. He's one of the last. I don't know how to phrase this. I guess the only way I can say it is, and it doesn't completely accurately describe what I'm trying to say. He's one of the last real workers because I think that he is always working, and I think he finds ways to make sure people hate him to the point where they get worked into a shoot and they end up hating him as the person.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No, and that, like, I'll often have discussions with people, and they're like, I hate him. I don't like him. And I'm like, well, that's kind of the point, but people aren't used to that now. We're so inundated with and a whole generation grew up with cool heels. And we talk about this all the time on the Flagship. We grew up in a generation where the NWO were cool heels, and Edge was like a cool heel who pointed to his temple because he was so evil and he knew he was being evil and he was so smart and he was outsmarting the babyfaces. It was always these heels, and like MJF is just a detestable. You cannot root for the guy. Like you would feel icky rooting for the guy, and that's kind of the fucking point. But the problem is this whole generation of fans, they attribute that to like, well, I don't like him, and that means he's bad, and that means that he sucks, and they shouldn't have a heel on their show. They shouldn't have a guy on their show that I hate because I don't want to watch him, and nobody else wants to watch him. And it's like you're being worked, and that's good. I'm glad that there's somebody that's still working guys out there, and still working people out there. But it's he is the last of a dying breed. Where and people will tell you. They will say, well, no, I'm not being worked. He sucks. Like, he stinks. And it's like, no, you're being worked, man. The guy is, and I think you're right. He is absolutely every second of every day working, whether he's doing interviews.
He's always working in some way.
Yeah, whether he's tweeting, whether you're always getting worker MJF. And you know what? I will say, he was in MLW. When was that? Like 8 years ago at this point, 7-8 years ago or whatever.
Yeah. Before AEW.
Yeah, pre-AEW. And I was one of a few people that was let into the MLW when they were at the Cicero Stadium. I was let into a show like 2 hours early, like 2 or 3 hours early to do interviews. Now, interviews were MSL saying, well, just walk up to a wrestler. And I'm like, I'm not going to walk up to Low-Key. like I thought they were going to give us, they were going to say, oh, hey, here's blah, blah, blah. Do you want to talk to him? Hey, here's blah, blah, blah. Well, that was taken as, well, just walk up to the wrestlers and ask them questions. They're coming up, like, they're planning out their matches or whatever. I'm not going to interrupt these guys while they're planning out a match and say, hey, I want to talk to you about, ROH in 2002. Like, come on, that's not good. So it didn't happen. None of the interviews happened. But I saw MJF work that room.
Yeah.
He was working everybody in that room.
Yeah.
Because he knew that there were a couple of us in there. A couple of us had gotten through, so he knew, well, I can't be Max and I can't like laugh and smile and high five or whatever. So he was working everybody. He'd walk by a guy and shoulder check him. He'd say, get out of my way. He was just being an asshole to everybody. And I was like, this guy never stops working. Another great example is I saw him one time in AAW and he did a move and he popped his kneecap out or something happened with his knee. And he was fucked. And you could tell it was bad and they stopped the match right away. And they got EMTs out there. And everybody started, doing the clap because he got carried out of the building or whatever. And he said, put me down. And he said, I don't need your fucking claps. Fuck all of you. And then he left. And I was like, there again.
I remember that.
There's a guy who might have had like a debilitating knee injury. Like, who knows? He doesn't know at this point.
Could have been out a year.
Who knows? Yeah. He's just like, these fuckers are clapping for me. I don't want them to clap for me. So he tells the EMTs, and I was right next to him when he did this. He tells the EMTs, put me down for a sec, and says, I don't need your fucking cheers. Yeah. It's like, that's great. That is such good shit. And then we saw him outside of the show afterwards, and someone said, hey, how's your knee? And he goes, who fucking cares? Fuck you. And I was just like, it's so great, because he's just sitting out there, with his knee taped up, waiting for his cab ride or whatever, or whatever it was going to be. And yeah, it's just, he's working 100% of the time. So yeah, there's a lot of people that don't understand they're being worked and insist that no, I know I'm not being worked. I just think he sucks and I hate him. And it's like, I don't know. That's.
Well, I mean, you could think that you could not be down with his gimmick or character or him. Look, I'm not saying you have to fucking enjoy watching MJF, but I just feel like he's one of the last real workers out there who is trying to make you really detest. Like, he's trying to be detestable.
Yeah.
He wants you to dislike him, and I think that. That's so tricky in an era where a lot of fans want to know that the person behind the gimmick has the right politics and that they're a nice person in their real life and that they're friendly at the merch table and all of this. It's just, there's been a lot of years of that now. And I used to talk about merch table culture all the time. And I used to warn that it was potentially going to be destructive down the line, glancing around at whatever happened during the pandemic.
Gestures to independent and European wrestling. Yeah.
A victory lap I never want to ever take, and it's like, I think that there's some of that too. But my point here is, when you see a match like this last night, the heat is off the fucking charts, and it always is for him. He always gets mega heat in the buildings. And that kind of speaks to your point too. There's always this, for the last 20 years, this sort of, heels getting cheered. Nobody fucking cheers this guy when he's a heel. They don't. He succeeds in his goal of getting heat. and getting more heat than anybody else on the show. And I think that's because he's so committed to just living it 24/7. He very, very rarely takes the mask off, lets the guard down. And even when he does, he reels you back in by the end. Like when he does an interview or something and he kind of, but there's always still that shade of gray where you're not sure whether he's working or not. But anyway, tons of heat for this. Kevin Knight wins it. He does get that win back. He hits the low blow behind the referee's back, so he gives MJF a taste of his own medicine. MJF is stunned at this defeat. And Darby comes down, chases MJF off. Brody,
literally down. He came up from the rafters all of a sudden.
That's right. That's a good point.
He descends. And you're like, oh, there's Darby.
Then Brody comes out while MJF's out on the aisle, and then Brody comes in because obviously the main event was Darby and Brody. And didn't they set it up where Kevin Knight's going to face the winner of that?
Yeah, so Darby came in and MJF said, give me my title shot. I deserve a title shot or whatever. And Darby goes, no, you don't. You know who deserves the title shot? This guy does. Kevin Knight does.
Just beat you. Yes.
Right. And but then they made sure, because Darby says, well, if I survive, the main event tonight against Brody, I'd like to face you next week, Kevin Knight or whatever. So Kevin Knight kind of nods or whatever. And then Brody comes out and he's like, you're not going to make it to next week because I'm going to beat you tonight or whatever, which I thought was good to kind of, and I think that's one of the things they're doing very well with this Darby reign is they're trying to make you believe that this guy can lose it in any week. Like he won it out of nowhere and he can lose it out of nowhere too. Now, I don't know how many people really believe that Brody King was going to win the title, and I don't think how many people are going to believe that Kevin Knight is going to win the title next week. But that's kind of the art form of what they're going to have to do is to try to make you believe every single week that whoever Darby is facing could beat him for the title, and then it's all eventually leading to an MJF rematch that we all know, and that's probably where MJF will beat him and win the title back, or maybe not.
I don't think.
Who knows?
I don't think Kevin Knight has 0% chance.
Zero.
I thought there was a chance Brody could win, though. I didn't think that was impossible. But we'll talk about that match as we move along. One thing Tony loves to do lately, and it's not like this is a new concept. This isn't new for wrestling television, but he's really been hammering this home lately. He loves to run an angle in segment 1 that hypes up and sets up the main event. He's been doing that a lot. He must see something in his data analytics that he's breaking down that shows that this is working, because he does it basically every week now, where you get some kind of angle in segment 1, which is designed to entice you to stick around for the main event, which again, not a new concept, but Dynamite hasn't always been structured that way. But this is something that he's been on he's had a kick. He's been on a kick doing it this way the last few weeks.
And I think it's a great idea. I mean, I think you're going to get a lot of people obviously watching that first segment. And I thought they have been doing this a lot recently in Dynamite as well. And it just speaks to the company feeling like it has more organization and more, understanding. Is like right out of the gates, Excalibur is running down the entire card. He used to do that, like in the early days of AEW Dynamite, if you remember, they would do those stand-ups. It would be Excalibur and Jim Ross and Tony, and they would do those stand-ups, basically previewing the show, telling you what's all going to be on the show, and then going right to that first segment, which I think if you're going to, I would always start with a hot match right out of the gates, but if you're going to, and they kind of did. I mean, honestly, on this show, they really did it. This is probably formatted perfectly of how I would format a weekly wrestling television show is come up, show us what's going to be on the show, and then right out of the gates, we have our first match. And if you're interested in that first match and watch through the whole match, it ends with, okay, now here's what's also going to happen tonight, and it bleeds into it. So it's a great way to do it as opposed to just a generic nothing happening, whatever, match in the opening segment. I think that's a huge segment to try to get new fans and try to get people to stick around to the show. Not necessarily even new fans, but fans that have a lot of other options of what to watch on a weekly basis to keep them around. So I think,
especially right now, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, there's so much going on. Renee is with Cope and Christian. Christian insists that his arm is fine, the arm that is still taped up. And then Renee asks if they accept the I quit stipulation that FTR wanted to add to the street fight. And Christian very quickly accepts the I quit stipulation. Cope questions his decision. He says, are you sure with your history of I quit matches in this company? Alluding to Christian saying I quit in the past, and then Christian insisting I never said I quit. So So there you go. It's going to be I Quit street fights against FTR at the pay-per-view.
They're still definitely teasing that, and I like that. We were worried about the Cope and Christian, that it would be like these two, they became mortal enemies, but then it's like, all water under the bridge. It's all good. We're best friends now. They haven't done that, and I like that they haven't done that. It makes me still question. I still don't trust Christian. I still feel like this guy's going to turn on him. Yeah, and you know good. What? Cope feels the same way, and I think that makes it's so much more organic and so much more human that Cope doesn't just one day decide, oh yeah, no, I wholly trust this guy and I know that he's my best friend and yada yada. Like
Christian has retained his character traits.
Yes, I was really worried about that. I was really worried.
So many times in wrestling, someone does a turn and now they have completely different character traits, right? And he didn't even really do a turn. Like I guess I don't know. I guess he's a babyface. He's not a heel.
Yeah, but it was like an unwilling turn. You know what I mean? He became. Yeah. It's just like he thought FTR was too detestable to still be on their side, but he's not. Like they're not best buds yet on the show, and I like that. It's a turn. He is a babyface, but he is a unwilling babyface, and Copeland is like an unwilling partner. There's still just a lot of weird tension, and I like that. I think it's a really, really cool way to do that story. Is that these two guys don't feel like, even with Christian being like, yeah, we accept. Cope's like, hold on a minute. And then alluding to, Christian losing I Quit matches. So it's like, there's all this tension still with these two. And I like that a lot because, the easy thing to do and the thing that a lot of wrestling over the last 30 years would do is they become partners and then they come out the next week and they have kazoos and they're dancing and they're wearing sunglasses and high-fiving. Yeah. They was so easy to do that. And I love that they resisted the temptation to do it.
That would run so counter to what we've seen out of Christian all these years in AEW. And you would be put off by it. Like, oh, this fucking sucks. Now, there's certain wrestling audiences that would eat that up and they would want that, right?
Yeah, but those are disposable wrestling fans that I don't fucking think you have to cater to because they would react to that in the one time it would happen, and then But I think this has so much more to it.
If they were doing this in WWE, I would probably suggest that they do that.
Of course.
Would get over more than this.
Oh yeah, the fans would not understand this at all.
No, they would want the 5-second pose and the fucking kazoos. And although how many of them even remember that at this point?
Yeah, that's a long time ago. That was
like 2002. I mean,
2000. No, that was 2000. Like 2002, they were already broken up by that point.
26 years ago. I mean, fuck. So anyway, now the first match those two teams had, I thought was very good, and I thought for sure that we'd insert the Bucks into this thing and do some kind of TLC gimmick. Maybe that's coming at Wembley. Maybe that's coming a little further down the line. That's a long time to stretch it out. Maybe that's coming at the pay-per-view after Double or Nothing. But for now, they've kept the Bucks out of this, which is a pleasant surprise. I thought we'd get the three-way now, but we're not getting the three-way now. We're getting this street fight, no I Quit gimmick. So, next up was the Brawling Birds. They win a squash over Emily J and Jordan Blade. And then Tekla and Sky Blue get on the video board and talk some shit. So I don't have a lot of thoughts. What do you think about this squash and this feud that has been going on?
Squash was fine. And the Brawling Birds go out there, just kind of headbutt some people and try. I love the team. I think they're really good. Yeah. I enjoy their offense a lot. So, it was a nice little squash. I will say, and I have a little bit of a warning. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I was watching this live, and people in the Discord didn't like when I pointed this out, but Tekla might be subtlety hammering the dumb bitches. Keep an eye out for it.
Oh, yeah. I know. I could see that.
She started the promo by saying, there's a lot of dumb bitches in here, and I don't like to call people dumb bitches, but I'm sorry, there's too many dumb bitches in AEW. And I was like,
so
okay.
Tempting.
You did it once and it was good. You've done it a couple times since then, but let's not make dumb bitches the thing that you say every single time. Like,
you're gonna make it a yeet.
Don't eat it. Don't eat it, because it's a really cool line, and I love that she's unhinged and you don't know what's going to come out of her mouth, and I don't want to know what comes out of her mouth. I don't want every week the same thing to come out of her mouth. So I know people got mad at me in the Discord because I was like, we're going to subtlety hammer this. Like, no, it's good. It's interesting. I'm not saying it's not good or fun. I'm saying I'm raising the warnings. Like, I'm just... The threat level is increasing, that we're going to lose the impact of her calling people dumb bitches if every single week she says dumb bitches, and then she wears a t-shirt that says dumb bitches, and she says the line, everybody goes, yeah, she said dumb bitches. Like,
she said the thing.
Yeah, I don't want that, and you shouldn't want that either, because that's bad.
No yeets.
No
You're
yeets.
right. That's you're right though. It could
We're not
be
at
becoming
we're not
a
it's
yeet.
not we're at threat level like Orange. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm monitoring the radars on the yeeting. So
Okada defends the international title against Ace Austin. This is a nitpick, I guess, but if you are going to review pro wrestling the way we do, you got to nitpick sometimes. I don't like title matches like this in front of bigger title matches. I never like this because it's immersion breaking. Because look, we know intellectually Ace Austin is never beating this man. I think intellectually we understand that, but it's silly when we already have an international title match booked with Takeshita coming up at the pay-per-view to then have another one here. And then the announcers have to do the stupid thing. Excalibur has to pretend that if Ace Austin wins, he's going to just, can we just not do this? Like, it just bothers me. I don't know. You could just, it's Ace Austin. He never wins on TV.
well, you can
He
have the
doesn't
same
have
match.
to
It
have a
doesn't have
title
to. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a title match. And I think that
Right.
I love this type of match. Like I love a
Yeah,
match
of
where
course.
two guys are just like. I would love more matches like this on Dynamite all the time. Like this is the matches that we always say you could
Yes.
do more often. Just two guys wrestle, and it's like, oh wow, Ace Austin and Kazuchika Okada. I would never think of that match, but that's a cool little match. But I do agree with you that it does become a little weird that we're trying to pretend that Ace Austin deserves this title match, and that we're trying to like suspend our
Any
disbelief that
chance
he's
to
gonna
win.
that he's gonna ruin this 9-month long story. That Takeshita versus Okada. They're like, oh fuck. Sorry, I know we promoted it and put the
What you
poster
should-
up, but like,
listen, if you want to do it, do it with someone who's like tangentially involved in the storyline, right? In this case, I can't think of anyone, but in other cases, you could probably think of somebody, the person's tag team partner or someone else, or the former champion, like that I could understanding and get down with. But this always just feels so dumb and forced to me. It's like you don't have to make it a title match. You can make it an eliminator match. You can make it. Tony loves the eliminator matches. You could just make it a fucking non-title match.
Right.
And explain, look, Ace Austin needs to move up the fucking rankings before he gets a title shot.
yeah, or just simply say like, Okada Takeshita already has his international title match locked in or whatever. But if Ace Austin wins after the pay-per-view, he will face whoever wins at Double or Nothing or whatever. If he wins this match, he's guaranteed a title shot after Double or Nothing or whatever. But yeah, that might be a good way to do it.
So Okada is still great at these near falls. He's still the best in the game because they had one here. And the thing that he doesn't do is he does not stare at the referee when he's counting.
Never.
And that's what everybody else in the business does. They stare at the fucking referee and they're going to kick out. Now in this match, he's kicking out anyway, but you get the idea. It'll be a big world title match. Pick your company. Doesn't matter because it's all the same. And there'll be a big dramatic near fall that might have gotten you. It might have been a good enough near fall to get you, but we can see that motherfucker staring at the referee's arm, and then he's going to kick out. And it bugs the shit out of me, and I don't understand why they need to do that. You could hear the fucking arm hitting the mat. Why do you need to stare at the referee? Grant Akuma's in the chat. Maybe he can explain it. If there's any other wrestlers in the chat, is Sean Arlene's in there? Whoever, explain this to me. Why do you need to stare at the fucking referee's arm when he's making the count? Okada doesn't do it. He never does it.
I guess not trusting yourself to pick up on the referee's cadence or whatever, but it should be pretty,
Drives me nuts.
should be second nature by a certain point. Suit Williams has a good idea. I would still announce that Okada Takeshita is going to happen. It just wouldn't be for the title if that guy lost it.
You could do that too. Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
But the problem with that in this case is the whole story is centered around Takeshita wants to take that belt from him.
Right.
Like to stick it to him. So, but I get what he's saying. Yeah, for sure.
It's an option. Again, we care about this stuff way more than
Than
most people in the
do.
room
Yeah.
and most people in the audience. So
Yeah. So Takeshita comes out afterwards on the stage and stares at him and whatever. All right, so now we had this goofy Swerve and Bandito Old West fucking saloon gimmick where, because he's a bandit and someone's coming for him. This guy's getting tossed out of the saloon door, and it turns out that Swerve is coming for Bandito and the ROH World title. So
we're going to do another, what if this guy wins the ROH title? Will you watch the show now? And the answer will still be no.
Well, I like inserting Swerve into the ROH World title picture because I think that it instantly elevates that world title and it instantly elevates ROH. Like you just said, though, will it get people to watch? I don't know. Probably not. Right? But I think
it's certainly worth a try.
Yeah, the only way to make the ROH title feel important is to have important people wrestling for it. And yeah, Bandito, a lot of people like him and he has good matches and everything.
He's not this kind of star.
But he's not this kind of star, and he also doesn't defend against those kinds of stars. Swerve is a top guy in the company. So I like that he's going for that world title.
It's an easy way to keep him out of the world title picture too. So you don't have to say, well, what about Swerve? And it's like, well, he's involved in this now, and that's a good way to get around it too. And
have him win it. I'd have him win it.
Oh, of course. Oh, absolutely. He should absolutely win it.
If he wins it, you can push him as a world champion. And look, you're gonna have. Listen, if you're Tony, you have to understand that you're going to go on social media, Twitter mainly. And you're going to have people complaining that Swerve holds this dumb, meaningless title. Oh, we have now. Oh my God, there's an ROH title on AEW TV. It's going to be too confusing. You need to ignore that stuff and just follow your instincts here. And if you're going to put the title on it, put it on him. And that's how you build that title. Mm-hmm. And you don't worry about people with this nonsensical complaint that you can't have another world title on your TV. That's a bunch of bullshit. It was bullshit then. It's bullshit now. And I do think, because look, Bandito shouldn't be beating Swerve in any kind of a programmer feud.
No.
Okay,
no.
So, I mean, it seems like they're going to put this belt on him, and I do think it's a good idea. And it's a good way. It's good for Swerve, and it's good to take steps towards elevating that title.
Yeah, and I think if you want to find a way to get Hangman involved in a world title, that's not the world title, that's another option too. If we're going to really do this thing, with the ROH title. Now, this seems like it had a lot of stuff to do with the ROH title, but I don't think that's a bad thing. We've been screaming about how this title is meaningless in AEW canon, and that's a shame. It shouldn't be. It should be a big deal.
Fix that very easily.
Right.
You put it on Swerve, and you have him defend it in the semi-main event of pay-per-views. You have him defend it in main events of Dynamite. Any title could be elevated with a little bit of effort. Mm-hmm. You control this shit. You control it.
Right. So anybody that's going to tweet that, I hope that everybody just ignores that, because, you're going to get that. Swerve's going to win it. People are saying, that title's worthless. Nobody gives a shit about Ring of Honor. Well, you know what? I'm going to try to make them give a shit. Yeah, what I'm doing is trying to make people give a shit about it.
And then maybe some people will buy fucking the stupid app to watch the pay-per-views 4 times a year if people care about it. What's the name of the game here? To get people to care about things so that they watch them and pay money for them. That's the whole point this exists. So get people to care about the title. A good way to do that is to put it on somebody like Swerve. And like you said, keeps him away from the AEW world title picture for a while too, and gives reason to keep him away from the AEW world title picture in the canon of the storytelling. So anyway, I thought the whole saloon thing though was goofy, but
it always is.
Lanza.
Yeah, it always
no
is.
fun,
Yeah.
Lanza.
I'm with you. I'm with you. The wanted poster and shit. It's like, get out of here. What are we doing?
What is the Desperados looking for Cactus Jack in WCW? right. Dutch Mantel and fucking Dead-Eye Dick. And what are we doing? So Will Ospreay walks in on the Death Riders training session in the back. And he's wearing training gear. So whatever private conversation he had with Jon Moxley in the dungeon the week before, obviously he's buying what Mox is selling here. So the whole crux of this storyline is Will doesn't like Mox, but he's starting to understand Mox's ways. Mox has nothing personal against Will. He's made that clear from the start, right? And he thinks that he could help Will get over the hump and maybe start winning the big one if he can get right mentally, which is something that he feels the Death Riders can help him with, and Will is buying the idea that the Death Riders can help him. So Will says, look, I'm not cleared yet, but I'm going to Japan, and we'll talk about that later. I'm going to Japan because my boys need me. And Mox had this great line. He's like, oh, loyalty, I like that. I like loyalty.
Yeah.
He's like, and then Will's like, where's the ring? And then Mox is like, we don't have a ring, and then he kicks the cameraman out of there and says, This is now, the rest of this is proprietary, and this is nobody's business. So these segments have walked the fine line of being too silly. I don't think they've quite crossed them, but they need to be careful because it's a fine line. Like the dungeon the week before, and now this, and now the story, the basis of the story is good, right? It's been consistent. Mox is just indifferent towards Will as a person, but if he has to break his neck, if he has to beat him in a match, if he has to, do terrible things to him, then he's going to do them because that's the essence of who he is as a character. And I think Will is starting to understand that, all right, I can maybe learn from this guy and he can help me ultimately attain what I'm going to attain here. So what do you think of all this?
So I think the content of everything is pretty good. Like, I don't mind the content. The production has gotten me, I've been a little annoyed at the production. Now, I will say, the one on Dynamite, the one that we're talking, this week's Dynamite wasn't too bad because they addressed, like, Daniel Garcia starts off, I think, and he's like, yeah, so here's, let me show you how we train or whatever here in the Death Riders. And it just so happens to be exactly the time that Will Ospreay walks by or whatever. So that part's a little goofy. I get that.
And the Garcia part is what I talked about last week. That's just establishing, hey, this isn't an invisible camera. We know the cameras. That's the only reason they had Garcia do that.
Which I appreciate. But what they did is they fucked it up on Collision. Because on Collision, they did that, but then they had multiple cameras because they're cutting to their faces, making grimaces and stuff. And I'm like, you fucked it up, guys. Is it organic? One camera guy just so happens to be here? Or do we have a whole camera crew following you guys in this dungeon, cutting to faces or whatever? That lost me when it was like, and it seems like a very nitpicky sort of thing, but there's a big difference between having one cameraman be there because Daniel Garcia told the cameraman to come here and watch our training session or whatever, or Will Ospreay bringing a cameraman with him or whatever, that sort of stuff's fine versus a multi-cam setup. Once it's a multi-cam setup, I'm out, and now you've completely ruined it for me. Even if the content's good, I'm like, you've made this goofy sports entertainment bullshit, and I don't want any part of it.
I think I would have preferred this if Excalibur was like, and now we've got special footage from the Death Rider training session, and you'll never believe who showed up. We have to show you this footage. Like, it presented it like the Death Riders didn't know Will was coming. Right. And that we were just going to this, but that we caught this thing that happened when we were filming something else with a different intent. And we're showing the viewers out of interest because we think the viewers would want, because the people would want to see this.
Right. They used to do that. And that used to, I mean, that extended until the early parts of the Attitude Era. I'll always remember that when Steve Austin threw the Rock's, Intercontinental title into the river, the week prior, there was a segment on Raw where he told the cameraman, next week, follow me. I'm going to do something important and you got to get it on camera or whatever. And they wanted to establish, why the fuck is there a cameraman on this bridge with Steve Austin? You had to do it. But then slowly but surely they just said, we don't have to really say it. Just whatever. Who fucking cares? And who fucking cares? And then we had 20 years of people saying, who fucking cares? And now we've gotten a point where a lot of the stuff that happens backstage, there's no real logic to why there's a camera. And this bothers me. And I complain about this all the time. Probably people roll their eyes and get mad at me again because they're like, oh, you're nitpicking. But I always say it's goofy that when Renee is doing my guest at this time, blank, 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 she says some fucking boring ass question to some person. The person starts talking, and then, oh, wouldn't you believe it? The person they're talking about just so happens to be to the right of them and now enters the frame at the right because that's how wrestling is done now. And that's how the one company did it forever. But we don't have to do that. We don't have to pretend that the ops just happen to be talking. Oh my God, the guy they're talking about just happens to be right there, ready to walk in from the right. You know what I mean? All of this can be done a little bit more organic, and all of it can be done with a little bit more care. And I know that AEW knows it because, like you said, the fact that Daniel Garcia addresses the cameraman, even in one of the goofy, was it the Jungle Jack thing where they the bus and they were breaking the headlights or whatever?
Well, they were in a literal dungeon.
Yes, that was also a dungeon, but they also said, "Oh, we brought a cameraman with us." Like AEW's always done that, so I know that they're sensitive to it. I know that they care about it.
Yeah.
They could just care a little bit more about it, and that would really make things so much better. To just make the backstage and the whole show feel a little bit more organic and feel a little bit more natural. But that's hard, and nobody really cares. We care But you have a whole generation of wrestling fans that just know when you go backstage, a person's going to talk, and then the person that they're talking about is going to enter from the right, and the camera's going to zoom in on the face of the person that enters for the right. The crowd's going to go, yeah! And then they're going to zoom out, and then that guy from the right's going to say, yeah, so I heard you've been talking about me or whatever. And then they're going to, say something, and then Renee is going to stare off into the left while the camera looks at her a little too long and then zooms out back to the arena. Because that's just what they've done forever, and everyone's just kind of used to it. But we don't have to live like that. It could be more organic.
Think that Tony probably at one point, really, honest to God, didn't want to do invisible camera stuff.
He said he didn't want to from day one.
But now he really wants to do it. But he always has to give you that little thing that tells you, oh, wait, hold on now. This isn't an invisible camera. Someone's going to address the camera for 10 seconds to establish that, no, please do not put in the papers that we're doing an invisible camera. But the reality is that's what it is. But whatever. This is where we are now. But
yeah, the content of this stuff is good though, because like you said, the story is great. Will has lost a couple times. Will is kind of I'm coming back from this neck injury, and I'm not quite the same wrestler. I'm trying to do what I did before, and it's not quite working. And he's got this guy over here, this prophet over here, that's like, look, man, I can unlock you. I got, and he's thinking, well, yeah, all right, maybe he can. Maybe he's got something. Maybe this guy, whatever they've talked about, he's slowly but surely. Now, I don't think Will Ospreay is going to like join the Death Riders or whatever. I just think Mox is going to be like, look, I can help you. If you want my help, I will help you get a killer edge. And, it might end up with at the Owen tournament, it's Mox versus Will Ospreay, and Mox doesn't, doesn't stop beating on the guy or doesn't, think about doing the Tiger Driver. He just fucking does it. Yeah, I might break the guy's neck, but you know what? That guy breaks guys' necks and he doesn't care about it. I got to be more like that guy.
I'll tell you what, that would be a really cool callback, and it would really tie everything together from that era.
Right.
If they did something like
he puts him in that, the Tiger Driver, but remember he used to cower in fear about it.
Crisis of conscience. He just does it.
Because Mox taught him to be a prize fighter. And just say, if you break a neck, you break a neck, man. Go to that pay window. Win the titles. Who gives a fuck, They entered an athletic competition. I'm not going to be held responsible. Yeah.
I will not be held responsible for someone else's lack of responsibility, I think was the line that he used.
Oh, God. Mox is so good. I love that guy.
So we had Cope and Christian versus Roppongi Vice. Now, this is kind of like what I was talking about earlier with Okada and Ace Austin. Now, they have a title match coming up at the pay-per-view, and they're having a match here, but with a team that's involved in this story. Because FTR paid these guys a month ago or whatever when they walked in. They jumped these guys in the locker room, remember? They jumped Beretta and Rocky in the locker room. So they've been involved in this, and then they paid them to jump them and all of that. So, and FTR was at ringside for this, and the idea being, well, maybe Roppongi Vice can stop these guys before we even get to the pay-per-view. So this made sense to me as a match happening before a bigger match coming up later. And it was worked. This was old school Southern tag style with Christian in the position of Ricky Morton, building to the one hot tag to Cope. And then Roppongi Vice did get the one near fall where Trent's feet were up on the ropes, but the referee caught him. And then eventually Cope and Christian win. And then the big thing is they used a steel pipe and made Trent say, I quit in front of FTR. So what'd you make of all this?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah, like you said, a good kind of Southern style tag match. They did the said like the pipe or whatever. I don't know. I forget what the weapon was that they had in Trent's mouth. But he kept saying, I quit. And then I think they realized that nobody could really hear him. Because and then eventually they took the pipe out. He's like, I quit. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks. That's what I thought. So no, it was good. It was as far as the Cope and Christian stuff, I've had no real issues with the actual work that they've had, and I honestly don't hate the story right now either. So everything's done.
You're being fair.
I'm being fair. I gotta admit, even though I don't like the guy.
You're not digging your heels in. You're just taking the content for what it is and assessing what they're giving us. Now it can go sideways fast.
Oh yeah, I'm always. I mean, we have an I quit New York street fight with 1,000 stipulations attached to it, so it could get goofy, but so far it has not. So far it has not. So got to call it like I see it.
So Renee is with Jericho, and then the Demand jumps him in the middle. This is what you were just talking about.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you notice that Renee had a hoarse voice at the beginning of the show? Magically felt just fine in this Chris Jericho thing, which was clearly filmed last week or whatever, right? Like definitely, yeah. So she got a losage in just for this segment, and then later was right back to not being able to talk.
Olympus. The Hall's Myth Olympus. Ricola. So Ricochet and the Demand jump Jericho, and Ricochet, he tells the Khan and Chaos. What the fuck are their names?
Khan and Chaos. Bishop Khan and Toa Leona, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, so pick him up, and then Jericho tells Ricochet to eat shit, right? He's going to be defiant. So they beat him up again, and then he teases doing the Rico salt, which he has stolen from Chris Jericho, the Lion salt, off of, wouldn't you know it, there happened to be like a pallet there or something.
Yeah, very nice pallet to do a backflip off.
Very convenient, but he doesn't. He says, you're not even worth the trouble, right? And he walks off. Here's the problem with this feud. Jericho's putting him over at every turn. He's showing a ton of ass. At some point, he has to beat the guy. Right?
Well, also, why is Ricochet still just beating this guy up? Like, he's proven everything he needs to prove to the guy.
No. He wants to run him back out of AEW, is what he says.
Okay.
He wants Jericho out of AEW. So that's the motivation.
Okay, to keep beating him up. All right.
Right.
Okay.
Because he even said last night, "Are you going to leave?" That's when Jericho told him to eat shit. When he told him, "Get out of my company."
Okay, all right. I see what you're saying.
Right. So, and I still can't get a real handle on what Jericho's trying to do here with this reinvention. You know, it's just Jericho, and it might be a little too subtle to where I don't know if people quite get what he's trying to do. Right? I know people said he's doing Kevin Nealon's character from the old SNL Weekend Update, Subliminal Man, where he whispers under his breath. Right? Like he was doing some of that a few weeks ago. He didn't really do that this week. And there's some people who think he's riffing on what WWE wanted to do with him if he had signed there, like bringing back some of his old bits. But he hasn't really been doing the old bits anymore either since he did the list thing.
Right. It was like the debut. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I don't
know what he's doing. Yeah. Like it's every time we think we have a handle on what he might be doing, he stops doing that thing. So I don't know what's going on, but this feud has been entirely one-sided. There has to be something coming up here. I mean, they can't just have a singles match at the pay-per-view and then Jericho wins and then everybody moves on. That would feel weird. So I don't know. It's just been so one-sided that it has me wondering where all of this is going and what all of this is leading to. You have any thoughts on this?
I really don't, because I don't quite know what it is leading to, and I don't quite understand what's happening just yet. But I'm willing to let it play out. Jericho is a very smart guy about his characters and very smart about his feuds and stuff. So I'm imagining this will all make sense here in a little bit. But yeah, so far it's been interesting. But you're right, Jericho at some point has to beat this guy, or I mean, you just can't lose to this guy over and over and over again and get his ass kicked all the time, right?
He's got to get the upper hand at some point, is what I'm saying. And he hasn't at all.
And he's always been by himself, too, which is a very unique thing for Jericho in AEW, because in AEW, he's always had backup. He's always had a stable. He's always had a unit. So maybe that's the end game, but I don't understand. I don't really know who. Yeah, I don't know who makes sense to be that, unless the bad apple comes back and we're doing stuff with those guys. But
he usually doesn't go down the same road unless it's Sammy Guevara, who is on every road that he lives on.
It's on every road. Yeah.
So I really don't know. I mean, your wrestling brain would tell you, all right, well, maybe the demand to turn on Ricochet and join Jericho, and we do a double turn, right? But I don't know if it's the right time to turn Ricochet. I think he's got something good going as a heel, and I don't think I've seen enough of it yet. Right? Does it feel like the right time to turn Ricochet?
No. He's been a great heel in AEW, and I think that there's way more juice to squeeze.
Bone, right?
Oh yeah, meat on the bone, juice to squeeze, whatever analogy you want to use. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, but that would be like the natural angle you'd think that they're doing, right? If you're trying to think a couple steps ahead. But I don't know. So next up was Lena Cross and Megan Bayne. They defeat Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. They've been building this women's tag team title match for a few weeks now. And Cross and Bayne remain dominant and they defeat Shida and Statlander.
Shida fucking stinks, man. She is really bad right now. She was never good, and I know that used to be like a hot take, and we'd be one of the few people that were like, I don't know, I don't really think she's very good. Everyone's like, no, she's great, and like there was the early days of AEW where we had to pretend that she was good because she was like the best woman on the roster, but that was also a lot of years ago, and time is not. I mean, she looked awful in this match. I mean, she couldn't do anything right. She's very slow. Her drop kicks, she's not getting any elevation on her drop kicks. She's drop kicking people in their freaking, their hips because she can't get up. It's very rough, very, very rough. And she stuck out like a sore thumb here, especially when you'd watch the Shida control periods and you're like, that's kind of. And then Statlander would get in there, and Statlander looked great. And Statlander would go, and everybody else I thought looked like Lena Cross is still a little rough around the edges, but like when Bane got in there and Statlander got in there, you could tell a noticeable difference. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with Shida, but
well, I mean, I've never been a big fan. I always thought there were a lot of holes in her game. It used to be a much more shallow division, and I understood why she got pushed years ago. When they brought her back, I rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh, come on, this is the epitome of someone who could really just go away.
Right. We don't need Hikaru Shida anymore.
Roster turnover sometimes is necessary, but I was at least pleased that they seem to be doing something different with her. She's kind of a different presentation now, and she's got this tag. They're in the tag team where they don't really get along, and the other baby faces don't understand why Statlander even puts up with her. Quite honestly, I don't understand why Statlander puts up with her.
Chris Statlander's an idiot.
Why does Statlander hang out with this person when she's annoying and nobody likes her, and she doesn't even like her?
Right, and then they're doing the gimmick where she talks in Japanese and she's like being very mean to Chris Statlander in Japanese. Yes. And then Excalibur on the show is like, well, we know that Hikaru Shida is saying very mean things about Chris Statlander in Japanese. And it's like, so Chris Statlander's just an idiot then. Like, she hasn't like figured out what this woman is saying. She hasn't watched the show back to figure out what this woman's saying behind her back. Like, it's just, it makes Statlander look like a buffoon, but they've done that a lot. Statlander usually looks like an idiot. So I don't know.
I don't know if she looks like a buffoon. Like, she clearly knows Shida is bad news. She walks out on her during promos. She brushes her off all the time. My question is, okay, it's not like she's the oblivious babyface who can't see the person who's eventually going to stab them in the back. She knows Shida is an asshole. So my question is, if she knows that, why does she keep hanging around?
Right,
with her?
You don't need Hikaru Shida.
Right, it's very strange from that standpoint.
I guess the idea is that they're a winning tag team. So right now she does.
Are
need
they?
Hikaru
How many
Shida.
matches have they won?
That's the other thing. I don't think they have won that many.
Hold on, I have to check this.
Yeah, let's run the numbers. Run the numbers here. Let's see.
They got a title match here. They beat Ava Lawless and Gigi Ray.
Right. I feel like Statlander could have picked anybody on the roster and pulled that off.
They beat Big Ann and Danica Del Rouge.
and then they got
their title match. Yeah, and then they got their title match and they lost. That's
okay.
it.
So, I don't know.
That's the run. They got the old WWF push where you beat some jobbers on TV and then you get your title match, and
Saturday night's main event and you lose your title match.
They cycle you back down, and I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Can't be breaking down Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander all night. So, I want to ask you this before. Did you watch Collision on Saturday's Collision?
Yeah.
Did you see Okada's pre-tape?
Okada's pre-tape.
Okay, so he talked shit to Takeshi. They both did a pre-tape that they aired. Takeshi in hour 1, they aired Takeshi in hour 2. Okada in hour 2. They were only like 15 seconds each. But Okada did half of his in English, and then he started cutting a promo in Japanese. And it took me back. I went back. I was like, whoa. I don't know what the fuck
he had a lot of energy. Yeah, he had a lot of really good energy out of it. Yes, that's the one. Yes, I know what you remember. I know what you're talking about.
He cut that. He said like 2 lines in Japanese, and it was the best promo he's cut in the company since he joined. And I don't even know what the fuck he said. It doesn't matter what he said.
It doesn't matter.
He could have said, I shit rainbow ice cream. It was still the greatest thing he's ever said on AEW. It was incredible. Just the energy behind it. And it was like, whoa, he channeled like the Okada that gives a shit. It was crazy for like those 15 seconds. I almost feel like maybe he should just cut Japanese promos. But I mean, how do you pull that off? Like, you have to have somebody Yeah, you got to. They're not bringing in Chris Charlton. I can promise you that. They're not bringing in Chris Charlton.
No, you don't think so?
No, I don't think they're bringing in Chris.
Maybe Jay Church.
Bring
out Jay Church. Come on, yeah.
No, I don't think that's happening either. So anyway, MJF confronts Don Callis and Andrade. He is mad. Obviously, he's hot that Andrade was not able to take out Darby Allin at the pay-per-view, and every time he threw an accusation at Andrade would say, "But how do you know? But how do you know?" And MJF is getting madder and madder because like, what do you mean? How do I know? Because you lost the fucking match, doofus. Why do you keep asking me how do I know? So I just enjoyed the back and forth because it was like I don't know if Andrade was needling him or
I think so. Yeah, because you go, how you know? How you know? How you just know? Like, what do you mean? How you know? I know.
What the fuck you mean? How do I know? I saw you lose. So anyway, it looks like MJF is going to have a little side quest here, a little side feud with Andrade based on the fact that he's blaming Andrade for all of this bad luck that has befallen him because he never would have had to face Darby if Andrade just could have gotten the job done that he paid Don Callis to get done, right? So looks like we're getting MJF Andrade at some point.
Not fine with me.
Any thoughts on that?
No, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good promo back.
Roosh defeats Steven Fuerte in a squash match. This Dynamite had a lot of collision energy. With
It did,
squash
which I'm not
matches,
complaining about. I like it.
47 matches and everything else. And then Roosh cuts a very short promo, mess with the bull, get the horns, all that bullshit. So
hey, more Roosh on my TV. I'm not complaining. I want it.
A lot of times with Roosh, I get the sense that Tony's just throwing him out there to like keep him calm. There seems to be no plan here. He's just on these shows winning squash matches or beating Adam Priest or whatever. And it just doesn't go anywhere. He's just beating guys, saying his catchphrase, and see you on Collision, where we'll do the same thing for the fourth show in a row, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is he just kind of keeping Roosh at bay? Like
that's not a bad idea.
Dangling the carrot,
right?
Dangling the carrot. No, you're on TV though. You're on TV. You're winning all your matches. Renee is with the Ops. So Samoa Joe cutting a promo here, talking about the new and improved Ops. He puts over Shibata. He puts over Hook. He puts over Anthony Bowens. He says Hook is taking on Kevin Knight on Collision for the TNT title. Well, the new Ops aren't going to be getting off to a great start, I guess, because I can't imagine he's winning the TNT title from Red Hot Kevin Knight. And Joe invites Will Ospreay into the Ops. This was a fucking detour I wasn't expecting in this promo. He's like, forget the Death Riders. They're scared of it. We're the elite killers here. You should be with us, not with those guys. So that's an interesting little, that perked me up. That sat me up in my seat. I was like, oh, really? Samoa Joe is inviting Will Ospreay to the Ops. So, I think Anthony Bowens is a horrendous fit for the Ops.
Oh,
and
I
talked about okay, so you agree? I was going to ask.
Yeah, Anthony. I'll be honest. Anthony Bowens is a terrible fit for just about everything in this company at this point. I'm kind of
repackage number 7.
Yeah, we've tried a lot, and a lot hasn't really worked. And the only thing that worked for a year or two, and then it stopped working, and then we tried to go back to it, and it didn't work then. Like I feel like we're kind of he'd be a guy that, with no ill will, I would just say, you know what, it's just not working, man. The next time that contract is due or whatever, the next time that contract's up, or is that the guy you just want to take off TV to give more time to other people, I would just do that, because I just don't think, how could you think this is the one? Oh, this is the one that's going to, I mean, I'll say that one thing is good that he's not hanging around with fucking Billy Gunn anymore, so that might help.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like
fit.
No, it's a bad fit, and it's been just a lot of diminishing returns for Bowens for a while now.
Listen, Hook feels like someone that would hang around with Samoa Joe.
Or
Shibata
Samoa Joe would
like,
see a lot in the guy to say, like, I can get something out of this guy, this kid,
Shibata feels like someone who would hang around with Samoa Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Will Hobbs feels like someone that would hang around with Samoa Joe. They all fit the vibe. Anthony Bowens doesn't fit the vibe.
No.
And he could stand there in his puffy parka all he wants. He still doesn't fit the vibe. You know what I mean? Like, and I've been a proponent of his for many years. I don't think this works. And I agree with you. I think he's been through so many repackages now.
We see through it. The fans see through it too.
He needs to, I think you're right. I think he needs to go. I think he needs to go work somewhere else, get some different ideas in his head, get some different people in his ear, wrestle some different people, be in a different environment, That doesn't mean you can't bring back Anthony Bowens 3 years from now after he does a run with TNA or WWE or hits the indies or whatever the fuck, right? That doesn't mean you can't bring him back. And maybe when you bring him back in 3 years, fans will be ready. Oh, we remember Anthony Bowens. Oh, Anthony Bowens, he's the guy that won the TNA world title. Who knows what he's going to do when he leaves, right? He could have a Santana-like run, or he could, do something big somewhere else to where it actually is beneficial not only to him, but it's also beneficial to you if he comes back. So I think you're right. He's the perfect kind of candidate to where when that contract comes up, it might be best for all parties involved to part ways, at least for now. It doesn't have to be goodbye forever. It could be goodbye for now. And he can go do something else, rebuild himself, and maybe find whatever it is that's missing that clearly he has not found in AEW. Because nothing has worked. None of this has worked. And I don't think this is going to work. So I guess we're on a similar page there with Anthony Bowens and the Ops. But this Will Ospreay thing could be very interesting.
I like it. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. All right, so Stoke and FTR. Again, sometimes in AEW, you have multiple balls in the air. They challenge Orange Cassidy. They got their hands full with Cope and Christian. But Stoke challenges Orange Cassidy to a double Jeopardy match. Old ECW fan Tony Khan, although this is a little different than those double Jeopardy matches. It's basically if FTR wins, they get a trios title match. And if Orange Cassidy wins, they get a tag team title match, is what the double Jeopardy represents here. And I thought Stoke was going to wrestle as part of the trio until Tommaso Ciampa entered the scene. So it'll be Tommaso Ciampa joining FTR, which again, when he was a babyface and FTR approached him, he turned them down, but they planted a seed for that relationship, and now he's a heel, and now he's on board and joins them. And he picked that little spitball out of Stokely's beard, which was bothering me, and I thought was there not on purpose, but it turns out it was there on purpose because then he fucking ate it. What was that?
I don't know. That was very strange. Yeah, I remember watching it and being like, did I just see what I just saw? And I did.
Ate the spitball or the piece of lint or whatever that was in Stokely's beard.
A piece of gum or something. I don't know what it was. Yeah, it was very strange.
I'm thinking, why don't they cut this and tell him to knock that out of his beard? But then obviously it was there for a reason, but it's like,
why? To what reason? Why was that? It's gross. Yeah, it was kind of gross.
Yeah, I guess Tommaso Ciampa is now early WWE Tommy Dreamer, where he just does gross things. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? You don't remember that?
I don't know if I remember Tommy Dreamer gross things.
So listen, Tommy Dreamer's gimmick at one point in WWE was that he would like eat the urinal cakes out of the urinal, or he would like eat hair. He would just do like gross things because that was Vince McMahon's idea of extreme, right? Yeah, he's extreme, huh? All right, let's see him eat a urinal cake, right?
I love it.
So for a couple of months, Tommy Dreamer's gimmick was he would do these vignettes where he would just do and eat gross things because he was extreme, and that's kind of like what that Ciampa thing reminded me of, eating fucking lint out of.
So we're told it was popcorn.
Beard. All right, well, it doesn't matter what it was. It was fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I don't want to eat popcorn out of someone's beard. Yeah,
yeah, that doesn't make it any better. Yeah, so you got to now. You have a homework assignment. You got to look up those Tommy Dreamer vignettes.
Yeah, I don't remember this era of Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, it was very cringe.
Was this like post?
It was
post invasion, right?
Post-invasion, where they couldn't figure out what to do with these people. It was in that era.
Okay.
It wasn't the WWECW era. It was way before that. It was like 2001 or something like that. And it only lasted a couple weeks because it obviously had no legs, and it was just really stupid and dumb. And, Vince struggles with things that he didn't think of. We've known that for many years. And I'm sure he was also just trying to embarrass the ECW
right.
at every turn. Darby Allin defeats Brody King. Now, I didn't think this was anywhere near the quality of the Darby Allin-Tommaso Ciampa match. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. But I thought Darby Allin, Tommaso Ciampa was one of the best world title matches they've ever had on their TV.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Night and day difference. I mean and it's not to say this Brody match wasn't bad, but that
it was a good match.
That Ciampa match, yeah, that was a special TV match.
All right, so we're on the same page there. So, yeah, I thought there was a slim chance Brody could win this. I don't think there's any chance Kevin Knight can win. Is Collision live or was Collision?
Collision is live. Collision is live. It is live from Peoria, Illinois. Lovely Peoria.
So if Hook beats Kevin Knight for the TNT title, will that raise the odds that he can beat Darby for the world title?
Not
They dare
in my
put the world
mind.
title on Kevin Knight.
That's bold.
It would clear the deck for it though if he lost the TNT.
Yeah,
title.
wow. That's maybe a bridge too far for me. I like random champions, and I think it's a good
Rocket
idea.
Pack.
That
That's a Rocket
is
Pack.
as rocket packy as you can rocket pack. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Just throwing it out there.
That's bold.
You know, it would put a title right on the Ops right away. They're rebuilding the Ops, right?
I don't know. I can't do that. I can't.
Clear the deck
I'm just
for
trying to
Kevin
like
Knight.
in my mind. I'm trying to envision like, oh my God, Kevin Knight is your. I mean, that'd be bold.
It'd take a massive set of balls to do that.
It would. It really would. But hey, you know,
The set of balls that it would take to do that. Yeah, but I don't think any of that's happening.
no, I don't think Hook's beating Kevin Knight.
Beats Cook, and yeah. So, any other thoughts on Darby over Brody King?
No, I wanted to like it a little bit more than I did, and I still think it was good, but it was a lot of just like, it didn't feel like a cohesive, like Ciampa and Darby felt like a fight, like a cohesive fight.
Yeah, it really
this felt like we were just kind of doing like setting up Darby doing something wild spots. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of unfortunate. Like, I always think Brody King is a guy who deserves more, but often when he gets in these spots where he has these big title matches, I end up not really liking him all that much. Like, I know he had a match with MJF a couple months ago that I remember just being like, that was okay. Like, once he get it, like, he does really well in certain spots, but then that main event, clear the deck, 15, 16-minute Brody King match is never as good as I want it to be, or never as good as I think it's going to be. And this one was just, I don't know. This one just felt like, all right, let's clear the mats so that we can do this spot. Okay, let's go over here so we can do this spot. Let's put the chairs here so we can do this spot. Let's put the steps here so we can do this spot. Whereas Ciampa and Darby felt like two guys that were willing to kill each other to win this match. Whereas I didn't really get that vibe with Brody and Darby, even if I did enjoy it still.
I think Brody is in the perfect spot on the roster for him. The upper mid-card babyface.
Yeah.
Gets good reactions, can go out there and have a competent match. He's not a very good promo. I think there was a movement during the Fuck Ice stuff where some people thought maybe, they got a burgeoning star in their hands. I think the Fuck Ice chant was over more than Brody was.
Yes.
I think, and that's not to say Brody isn't over. Or
No,
wasn't
Brody,
over.
but we're talking main event guy you can give the title to type of dude.
No, people wanted to chant "fuck Ice" when he was out there. I don't know if they wanted to see him as the top star in the company. In fact, not that I know that they didn't. I mean, I think he's in the perfect spot that he's in now. I never got the sense that I felt like he was being elevated during that period, but I always felt like the ceiling was going to be right where he is now, and I think that's a good place for him.
I agree.
Where he is right
Yeah.
now. And I don't see him ever breaking through to that. The way that Swerve broke through a couple of years ago, where he legitimately broke through and became a top guy. I don't see that happening for Brody. I think he's right where he belongs, and there's nothing wrong with that. And he's over in that spot. And this is the kind of match that kind of guy has. He loses world title matches on TV. He doesn't get world title matches on pay-per-views. He doesn't win the world title. But he's a guy who you can put in a world title match on TV because he's a popular upper mid-card babyface. And I think that's a really good spot for him. And he's come such a long way out of, Malachi Black's shadow as one of, with him and Buddy as the best thing that act kind of got, Buddy got hurt.
Yeah, we said it
Black,
at the time. Remember, we said it even right when Black left and Buddy got hurt. We said that is going to be so good for Brody.
Best thing for Brody.
Yeah, and it has been.
And I thought for Julia too, but Julia has gone backwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because listen, there was a time where Julia looked like she had a lot of upward
Yeah.
potential.
Oh yeah. She got hurt, and now she's
And
just
it just
a
hasn't
void.
been the same.
Yeah.
And now she's just a henchman or a is a henchwoman a thing?
Henchwoman.
You
Sure.
can be a henchwoman, right?
Yeah. Of
Why
course.
can't you be a henchwoman? That's what she is. Her and Sky Blue are henchwomen. Whatever the fuck. They're henchwomen. That's what they are. But yeah, there was a time where it looked like she had some. But look, that was the best thing for him. It cleared the path, and now he's in a great spot. And, we both talked about the WWE releases. I'm sure we were on the same page with Malachi Black. No thanks. No thanks.
No thanks anywhere. Let that fucking dude stream on Twitch. They can play Warhammer or whatever on Twitch. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. I said, I basically for 5 minutes said, Tony, please. Don't do it. Don't think about it. Don't even consider it. No. And especially with Zelina making an ass of herself almost instantly with her Sean Ross Sapp shouldn't report that I got fired until I reported to my followers on Twitch. Like, get fucking lost. What are you talking about? Goofball.
Yeah.
Fucking dorks. And people being like, yeah, that's right. What other line of work would you do? Every line of work. What are you fucking talking about? Every sport, every job. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, what other line of work would you have where it'd be announced that you got fired? Oh, I don't know.
Anyone fired from a TV show ever? Anyone cut from a sports team ever? Like what? Look, these people just
imbeciles.
They're not they don't understand how the fucking, they just don't.
They don't watch anything but wrestling. They watch and consume wrestling. It's so weird, but yet they so confidently speak about this. So confidently.
Crazy.
Oh, well, this would never happen anywhere else. Really? Like I likened it because I did my I think I did on Saturday, I want to say, my reaction to it. And that day, literally the day that Zelina Vega got released, was when the Red Sox fired Alex Cora and the team found out on social media. It's like this happens all the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And wrestling fans are like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, she should. Like no MLB reporter can announce that Alex Cora got fired until Alex Cora addresses to announce it. Like, what are we doing? What are you fucking talking about? That's not how the world works, you dummies.
It happens literally every single day. So Darby Allin, I have a comp. It's kind of a weird one. I'm getting, 1992 or 93, whatever year that was. Bret Hart vibes. Bret Hart's first world title reign.
92.
He was out there
92.
Defending against Virgil, defending against the fighting champion.
The most fightingest champion in WWF history. Yep.
And same kind of deal. Like at the time, no one really thought Bret Hart was going to be a world champion. Hard to imagine now, but that was a shocking world title change at the time. And to help establish him, they did the fighting champion gimmick where he was coming out on every TV show defending the belt. And they're kind of doing the same thing with Darby.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks in a row. He comes out and defends the title against, not completely random opponents like Virgil, but not that far off, not exactly, top of the card guys either. It's very similar to me as the Bret Hart reign where he was the fighting champion. What do you think of that take?
No, that's a good comp. That's a good comp. Yeah. And that 92 run is especially because that's the one where they would say, oh, he defended this. They would address house shows. Like you'd watch an episode of Superstars and they'd be like, oh, Bret Hart was wrestled this weekend on, a house show. Because they would have he would be fighting all the time and doing matches all the time. And like you said, I think he would cut promos and say, if anybody wants a chance, I want to be the most fighting champion in WWF history. Like the champions before me, would only face the biggest and the best, but I'll fight anybody. I don't care as long as you, want to come and get a shot at the title. And yeah, that seems like what Darby's kind of doing as well. So I think that's a great comp. And I think ultimately it's going to be Darby's undoing is that we're just going to also say that, he's gonna wear out eventually, but no, it's a good comp, and I think that's a worthy way to book a champion like a Darby. That he's not a guy. Nobody wants to see Darby Allin come out with the title around his shoulder and cut an in-ring promo for 15 minutes or whatever. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, they want to see him go through a table.
Yeah. So if you were going to give him a title, and we always said like he can win the title and then lose it the next night, but if you're going to have him keep the title for a month or whatever, or a month or 2 months or whatever, this is the way to do it. Is just have him take on all comers and be, that will establish him even more and establish him a little bit better. So no, I think it's a good comp and I'm enjoying this title reign a lot. I think it's really different and unique.
Yeah, Vince did that with Brett because, again, Brett wasn't built as a world title caliber guy. He wasn't built as a world title challenger. He wasn't even in a program with Ric Flair. He just won it on a house show in Saskatoon or wherever it was. And it was also a way to set Brett apart from the other champions because
they wanted to say this guy is not
TV.
Hulk Hogan. That essentially what it was is this ain't Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior. This is Bret Hart, a wrestler.
Right. And in those days, the champions didn't defend on TV hardly at all. So to help set him apart, he defended on TV every week.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, and it immediately made him stand out and made him different from all of the previous world champions, which is what you want to do with someone who you did a shock world title win with, as opposed to building them to win the world title. So from that standpoint, it's a little different than Darby, but I think the idea where they're just, they're baby faces who come out on TV and they'll take on all comers and they'll face anybody and again, next week, Darby against Kevin Knight. He just defends the title every week. So it's a little different. It feels different. And I think that's important for somebody like Darby, just like it was important for Bret Hart. So for Collision in Peoria, we got Kevin Knight and Hook for the TNT title. Jack Perry defends the national title against Mascara Dorada. Bang Bang Gang, Ace Austin and Juice Robinson take on Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Utah.
Do you know where Peoria is near, Joe? Do you know what Peoria would be an extended? It's not exactly a suburb of, but it's an extended suburb of sorts of a certain city. Do you know which city that would be?
Des Moines.
No.
Oh.
You talk about Juice Robinson. I'm giving you the window here, Joe.
The Windy City.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, right.
Willow Nightingale defends the TBS title against Anna Jay, who was in the news for the last 48 hours.
Yeah, can you explain I have no idea what this was, and I'm so glad because it seemed like the dumbest people involved in it. When I saw Air Gold was involved, I was like, well, I'm out. This is not something I need to know about, but now I actually want to know about it. So what is this Anna Jay thing? What's going on?
Quickly and in a nutshell, there's been some conversation as to whether her contract's coming due and all of those things. And Sean Ross Sapp on one of his podcasts with the Sour Grapes fella. Can't remember his shoot name.
No, just go Sour Grapes.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Alex, whatever. Palawalowski.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah.
Sour Grapes guy. That's why I said Sour Grapes guy. They were talking about Anna Jay's contract situation and Air Gold, as you alluded to. I can't believe we're breaking this down.
Air Gold.
he aggregated what Sean had to say on the podcast and put up a little clip. And basically, Sean was saying how she was upset she wasn't involved in Blood and Guts and, wrestler shit. Push me. It's like every wrestler in the world. I'm not being pushed hard enough. And he mentioned something about how she wasn't shy about letting people know she had Shawn Michaels' phone number. I don't know if Shawn meant that literally or if he meant it figuratively, as in obviously if her contract's coming due, she's going to send feelers to that company because who the fuck wouldn't, right? So I don't know if Shawn meant it literally or figuratively, but he said it. It got aggregated by the aggregator who put up the clip. Sean didn't like that, so he copyright claimed the clip. Which got taken off.
Okay.
So that's what all happened with that. And then Anna Jay quote tweeted the aggregator and said, I don't know where you people get this shit, but none of it's true. So she basically was saying that nothing Sean said was true in the clip that hadn't been copyright claimed yet.
Okay.
Anna, the wrestler, steps in. Now, what do you think Anna Jay is going to say? I don't know. Look, I have no idea. I do know this. Sean Ross Sapp is not going to make things up. That I know for certain. He's not going to make things up out of thin air. Whatever he passed along on the air, somebody told him. Obviously not Anna Jay, but somebody told him. Now, if you're Anna Jay, there's a lot of information there that kind of makes you look bad. Oh, I whined about not being in Blood and Guts. I'm whining about my push. I'm sending feelers to WWE. Maybe I don't want Tony Khan seeing that. Maybe she doesn't want fans seeing that. So I can understand why the wrestler would push back and say, hey, none of that's true, even if it is true. Whether it's true or not, Anna Jay has a clear motivation to say none of it's true. Do you see what I'm saying? So her coming out and saying nothing that Sean said was true doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't. I mean, Sean could have bad information. I don't think Sean's making it up. But the motivation is there for the wrestler to say that the dirt sheet writer is making shit up.
Correct.
Because what's
yeah.
been the play by pro wrestlers forever since dirt sheets have existed, it's to debunk them and say they're making shit up so that you're your side of the story or what your version of the truth is out there instead. And most of the time, fans will take the side of a wrestler when they come out and speak out against a Dave Meltzer or a Sean Ross Sapp or whoever.
Especially today, because it's like, oh, Anna Jay, you're my friend because you and I both.
You would never lie to me,
right?
You would
right.
never lie to me.
Yes, and I'm agreeing with you. So we're friends now. That's that whole
dirt sheets are the liars, not the wrestlers.
Which is unbelievable.
Not the professional con men. They're not the liars.
The professional liars are not the liars. No,
the reporters are the liars.
He just makes stuff up. Did you know he said Mabel was going to be the third guy? I mean, the guy's an idiot, clearly. So
well, Sean Ross Sapp just made up all of it, right? It's like, come on, like he's not making things up. Someone told him that stuff, and as a wrestler, you have two choices. You can, again, whether it's true or not, if you don't want it to be, if you don't want that narrative to be set, you can go out there and debunk it, or you can say nothing. Most choose to say nothing. The vast majority of wrestlers don't pay attention to this shit. Or if they do, they no-sell it. And they simply say nothing. But sometimes you get a situation like this where a wrestler's pissed off either because it's false and Sean got bad information or because they're annoyed that the information got out. So then they come out publicly and claim it's nonsense. And they know a good portion of the fan base is going to believe them. So anyway, that's what was going on with
okay, that makes sense. And like you said, it kind of behooves Anna Jay to keep her options open and to not feel like she's closing a door on one of her, even if she of course probably wants to move to the other company, it makes sense to keep that door open. No, I would love to re-sign with AEW because that helps WWE contract negotiations and it helps AEW contract negotiations. So.
Yeah, and look, and by this point she and she closed the tweet with "Check me out on Collision this Saturday" or whatever. By this point, she's probably knows she's staying with AEW. The last thing she wants is for the AEW fan base to think that she was trying to go to WWE because there's a lot of AEW fans who are not going to take well to that.
Right.
So it's also advantageous for her to try to make it seem like that would never possibly be the case. Now, WWE would sign Anna Jay yesterday if they could. I mean, she is right up their fucking alley. They would bring her into NXT without any hesitation. So, did she use them for leverage? Did she use the idea of maybe going there for leverage? If she was smart, she did.
Yeah, she should. That's a great idea. Good.
But who knows? She claims she didn't. And Sean said what he said, and the aggregator is in the middle, aren't they always?
Oh, they're at it again. The aggregators are at it again. Unbelievable.
Always in the middle. And then we have Top Flight and the Rascals. So we have another 47-man tag here. Is a 10-man tag against Claudio, Mox, because Mox, he's got to be on every show. Pac, Clark Connors, and David Finlay. And RZA and Jizza and Raekwon. And
You God will be there too. Yeah.
You God, the whole gang. So that's Collision from Peoria, just outside of Des Moines and Chicago. That's coming up on Saturday. That's AEW.
So real quick about Dynamite this week, and then we'll move on. Tickets distributed for the show per WrestleTix, 5,283. Per them, this is the highest Dynamite total of 2026, surpassing Winnipeg and Orlando, and their best U.S. number for Dynamite since Grand Slam Dynamite at Arthur Ashe Stadium in September of 2024. So a great number in Fairfax, Virginia at the Eagle Bank Arena. For Dynamite. And it looked good. It sounded good too. So things are moving pretty well. Double or Nothing. We're not going to go over the card here because we've done a lot and we got weeks until the Double or Nothing card or show. But they got 11,850 out already for Double or Nothing at the Louis Armstrong Stadium. So that's the tickets. They're moving well. The cyclical nature of wrestling is it's at it again for AEW. They're looking a lot better in terms of ticket sales. So.
Yeah, that's the smaller stadium on the grounds of the wherever they play the U.S. Open, whatever those grounds are called. The Arthur Ashe Stadium is the bigger. Is like the center court, so to speak.
It used to be called Flushing Meadows, but I don't know if it's still called that.
National Tennis Center, Billie Jean King National Tennis Center.
Okay.
Is the official name of the grounds. For people who aren't, because that's where Arthur Ashe Stadium is, where they used to run, where they ran 2 or 3 times, 3 times, I think. So that's like the main, the larger of the venues. Then there's the Louis Armstrong Stadium. And then there's a third one that's even a little smaller. And then there's all the other side courts. So if you go to US Open, the biggest matches will be at Arthur Ashe. The second biggest matches will be at Louis Armstrong, and so on and so forth, until you go all the way down the line to like generic court 14, where you have like your qualifiers and whatever.
That would be cool as hell to go to. I don't even like tennis that much, but that would be really fucking cool to go to. Live tennis is awesome. Yeah. I do like live tennis more so than watching it on TV, but
yeah, I mean, like if you buy a ticket to if you buy a ticket to the session, if you buy a ticket to the Arthur Ashe, if you buy a seat in Arthur Ashe for the night session, let's say, that also grants you access to any of the other courts during that session.
Yeah, it's cool as hell. That would be awesome. It's just
so
all day. Just watch it all day.
If there's a match you don't like, and you're like, oh, I like something going on court 3, then you can just walk over and go watch that.
That's the best way to watch sports. Like I do that high school basketball tournaments here in Chicago around the holidays. A lot of gyms will have 2 different, like they'll have a field house gym and like a main gym or whatever. And a lot of these tournaments will run games at the exact same time. So you could watch, the first quarter of one game, bounce off to the other game. Like one game's a blowout. You go to the other court, and like you could pretty much just stay there all day and watch, 15 different games going on all day. And just, when it's halftime in one game, you go to the other side of the court or the other court, you go like that. That's the way to watch sports, man. It's so fun.
Like the single admission, if you buy the
you buy a session ticket and you can just bounce between the 2 courts. I mean that's awesome. I love doing that.
So for tennis, Arthur Ashe holds 23,771. That's as people know, it's a big. It would be big for a basketball venue. It's a big place. Louis Armstrong holds 14,000 for comparison's sake for tennis, and then that third one I couldn't think of the name is called the Grandstand. That holds 8,125.
Okay,
so you have 3 giant buildings on those grounds. And again, that's where they hold the US Open. And then there's like a million other side courts that hold a couple hundred people.
That's cool.
So
yeah. I'd like to do that one year. That'd be fun. But
yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure it costs a little bit to buy a ticket there for the
Nah, it's not that bad. I mean, it's the same as I haven't gone in many, many years, so maybe I shouldn't talk. But yeah, like I went to the US Open a couple times, and I would always buy a ticket to Ashe. And I don't know, like a decent ticket, like $100 or something, like any other sporting event. Like you get a shitty ticket for less than that. But that's many years ago. So I don't know what it costs now, but it wasn't anything, it wasn't like out of middle class price range or anything like that. But hopefully for AEW's sake, they're not running Grandstand next year, like going from Arthur Ashe to Louis Armstrong
to the side court.
Before you know it, you're on court 3 for Double or Nothing in 2027. Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it's trending that way. So we'll keep. We'll see.
Listen, I thought running Ashe was brilliant. Like I don't think tennis stadiums. I would have never thought of running a tennis stadium. It's smart though. I know it's outdoor, but. They're perfect. They're perfectly set up for wrestling. I think people are going to like the look of Louis Armstrong Stadium because it doesn't like Arthur Ashe looks like a basketball arena. Like it's got the 3 levels and it's circular. It looks like your standard, you've seen it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Louis Armstrong is different. It has it's hard to describe, like risers almost.
Oh, I see. Yeah. It almost looks like,
Are you looking at pictures?
Yeah, that's cool. Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's a different. Yeah, I think people are gonna dig it.
It feels like you're really on top of it. It feels like everybody's on top of each other here.
Yeah, it's not like a mini basketball arena. It's like it has like risers on each side. It's hard to explain, but I think it's gonna be a really cool venue for wrestling. And again, they're gonna be able to get over 10,000 people in there, easy.
Well, they're already at 1185. So 11,850. So yeah, they set it up for just under 13,000. So we'll see.
Yeah, because wrestling and tennis are going to hold a similar amount because the ring is about the size of a tennis court.
Yeah.
So, but minus whatever you're going to do stage wise. So, yeah, no, that should be. They've sold a lot of tickets. It should look really cool.
So I'm going to skip this NXT events moving to the CW. If you want. I wrote a story about that on flagshippatreon.com. It is a free post, by the way. You do not have to be a paid subscriber to flagshippatreon.com. It is a free post, so you just have to sign up at flagship.patreon.com to read what's going on with the CW and NXT. You don't care enough, probably. We had enough stuff to talk about. So NXT PLEs are moving to the CW.
Rich has it covered right. Behind the paywall. All right, so I looked it up. U.S. Open tickets for 2026. Arthur Ashe Stadium seats starting from 150 to 300 for early rounds. So
that's not that bad. That's really
little
not that
inflation.
bad.
I think I paid 100 20 years ago or whatever. So
that gets you, like, if I walked in at 10 a.m., I'm there from 10 till like an early round.
Session.
Obviously, I'm not trying to buy like the finals or whatever, but like the day one, of the U.S. Open, like
first week.
So I'm there I can stay there the whole day then, right?
They split it into day session and night session.
Okay, that's
so you'd
fine.
have to buy a second ticket if you wanted to come back at 7 p.m. But if you wanted to come in the morning and just stay for the whole day session, you can get into Arthur Ashe for $150.
That's not too bad.
That's,
to watch high level tennis, that's all right. Yeah, that's
a decent baseball ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. So there you go.
All right, let's talk about Wrestling Dontaku. Let's go to New Japan here. They got 2 nights of Wrestling Dontaku this year. We got a night 1, May 3rd, and night 2, May 4th. So the business end of the night 1 starts with, we'll go to the main event here. Yota Tsuji defending the IWGP Global Heavyweight title against Andrade El Hilo. So Andrade versus Yota Tsuji.
Did you watch Red Zone or?
No, I didn't. No.
I watched the Red Zone.
I'm still kind of I'm not 10 toes in on New Japan just yet.
Well, I've got one Red Zone take that I want to get out there. So they had the 2 tag team title matches. Ichiban Sweet Boys won the junior belts from Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori. Good match. It's exactly what you would expect from those 2 teams. I thought Robbie X really stood out. He always seems to. Robbie Eagles is such a pro. But what I want to talk about, though, is the Knockout Brothers versus Bishamon. Now, relax, Rich Craich. I'm not going to do the same Knockout Brothers segment. I always do. But I do want to say that as I watched this match today, I was certain that this is finally the Knockout Brothers match that people weren't going to just go insane for because it wasn't that good. And then I go on Cage Match and it's at 8.86. So I just have no feel for this team. I don't get it. I just don't get, and I'm not doing it anymore. And people have heard me talk about it enough. I thought the match was perfectly fine. Like I think all of their matches are, but I have no idea what the fuck people are seeing that I'm not seeing, that every single one of their matches are like, oh my God, this is a fucking 4.5-star match, because this certainly was not. Now I will say this, and this is one of the reasons that I not only do not connect with this team at the level other people do, but also I have a major problem in general with most high on the card New Japan tag team matches. This match went 26 minutes and 32 seconds. Okay. So the last tag in this match was 14 minutes before the finish. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So it's just 4 people just doing shit.
4 people beating each other up for half the match. For literally half the match.
Tough. That's tough.
The last tag in this tag, and you go back and watch if you don't believe me, happened with about 13 or 14 minutes left in the match. In this tag team title match. Look, maybe that doesn't bother some people. But to me, it hurts these matches. It's like watching watching the last half of this match was no different than watching some goofy NXT 4-way where 2 guys are selling on the floor, and then those 2 guys sell on the floor, and the other 2 guys come in. I'm bored to tears. And this is why the Knockout Brothers these matches never get all the way there for me. Because all their matches are like this. I don't need 14 minutes, 12, 13, 14 minutes, whatever it was, of Yoshihashi and Oscar being in there while the other 2 guys are selling on the floor and jumping in to break up pins. I mean, come on. So I don't get it. I'm on another planet than everybody else. That's fine by me. Because the longer this goes on, the more I feel like I'm right. I thought I was going crazy and I was the one that was wrong. All right, I'm wrong, everyone. But no, the more I see of these guys, the more I'm thinking I'm right. There's nothing special about these fucking matches. They didn't make a tag for 13 minutes, people. What is this? Come on now. Maybe I've been watching too much Midnight Express since Dennis Condrey died. Maybe that's the problem.
That is a bad idea. You shouldn't.
I'm going to tell you something. They don't go 14 minutes without making a tag.
Hell no.
Okay? Look, I don't know. The match was fine. I was so certain, Rich, because I didn't see any review.
This is going to be the one. This is the one.
And I finished this match, and I was like, damn it, finally, everyone's going to say 3 1/4. Finally. Log into my little cage match, 8.86. Motherfucker. They loved it again. And it's Yuto Ice, let me tell you. I'm less and less impressed every time. And I swear I'm not trying to needle people. I swear. He was like the 4th most impressive person in this match. Now, to be fair, they built it around Oscar this time. To be fair. Again, the last 13 minutes was all Oscar. It was all Oscar and Yoshihashi. Are you excited to go watch that, Rich Craig? To watch 14 minutes of Oscar and Yoshihashi?
No, I think I'll skip the red zone, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I don't know. I love my man Hiroki Goto. But I don't know. Whatever. So what else is on this?
So you got Yota Tsuji and Andrade. You got Ren Narita versus Oleg Boltin for the never open weight title. And you have Don Fale versus Aaron Wolf. You can see why I'm not 10 toes in on New Japan Pro Wrestling just yet. So that's the singles matches on the show. We also have United Empire, Callum Newman, Akira, Jake Lee, Jacob Austin Young, and Zane J versus Unbound Co. Nagai, Drilla, Robbie X, Shingo, and Taiji Ishimori. We have Konosuke Takeshita and Shota Umino versus Chase Owens and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Be skipping that one. Great Okan Hanare and Will Ospreay versus the Goto Revolution Army of Hiroki Goto, Tetsuya Matsumoto, and then Yoshihashi. And then El Desperado Mystico, Taichi, and Yuya Uemura, so Mystico in the house, versus Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, and Rohei Oiwa. Then we have Yasuda and Hanma versus the Knockout Brothers, non-title. Yasuda and Hanma have not earned a title opportunity here.
No.
And then Taguchi Nakahara. Yeah, I think I've seen him a couple times, that guy. I'm trying to remember if he's the one. Let me double check if he's the one.
You got to look at his face, don't you?
Yeah, I got to see if this is the one I like or not.
His face.
Because there's a couple of these young guys that I like. Nothing came up. Forget it. Who cares? And then their team of Tiger Mask face Master Wato, Toru Yano, and Yo. So that is night one.
So,
not a lot to love on night one, I'll be honest.
Well, listen. We're finally going to blow off Don Fale and Aaron Wolf,
I'm sure. Right? This will be it. I'm sure. It won't be a recurring thing that comes in through the G1 or whatever. It'll be.
Now look, we got 2 nights of this, and then they had Red Zone with the 2 tag title matches. And then they also had Wrestling Hizen no Kuni, which had the junior title match, Tiger Mask versus Doki, the lumberjack match. So they're splitting up all their big matches so they can sell some tickets to a bunch of different shows instead of selling all their tickets to one show. I get it. I understand it. But just from a fan point of view, I'd rather they just have all the matches on one show. Mm-hmm. And instead of having a very small business end on these 2 split shows here.
Is that thunder going on behind you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
A very aggressive thunderstorm.
Yeah, it is pretty loud.
Rattling the fucking roof and everything. Instead of these very short business ends on these cards and then a bunch of shit that no one could possibly give a shit about making up the rest of the cards. But I understand why they're doing it. I mean, they're trying to sell as many tickets as possible. And they feel like if they split up these big matches, if you put Aaron Wolf on one night and then you put the world title match on the next night, they think that they can, and this has been a strategy that they've employed for over a decade.
Yeah, of course.
And they feel like, all right, well, maybe, if earlier in the tour in Hiroshima, we can put the Knockout Brothers on top. They seem to be a draw these days. So they're sprinkling around the draws to try to draw, so they don't have to. Because you could run Hiroshima Sun Plaza earlier in the tour, which is where they ran Red Zone. And they put, 2,000 people in the building. Instead of running another small, convention hall and drawing 800. you know? So I get it, but that doesn't mean it makes it as good of a viewing experience as a fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of fluff on both these Dontaku shows, which stinks. But when you smash these two shows together, and to your point, even smashing these two shows together, it doesn't feel. But if you smash like Red Zone in there with what they did, it would make a little bit more sense. But I get it.
The business end of all 4 shows,
right?
Red Zone, Wrestling Hinokuni, and the 2 Dontakus, you have a full, complete pay-per-view caliber, whatever you want to call it, New Japan card. But they'd rather, draw tickets 4 times.
Yeah,
I can't kill them for it.
No, I get it. But yeah, the business end of the show being Don Fale, Aaron Wolf, Ren Narita, and Oleg Boltin, and Yota Tsuji versus Andrade. I don't know about that.
Listen, they think Yota Tsuji and Aaron Wolf are going to fill that building.
Yeah.
And then they think that the world title match the next night with the novelty of Will Ospreay being in a title match is going to fill the building the next night.
Yeah, and we'll see.
Or come close to it and sell 60% more tickets than they would have if they did it all in one show. And they're probably not wrong. And then you sell 2,000 tickets a week earlier in Hiroshima.
Yeah. Oh, no. It makes great business sense.
Brothers.
Yeah. No, it's good business sense. It's just, for the viewing experience. Not
stinks.
As good.
Yeah.
Because night 2, you got Callum Newman and Shingo Takagi. So obviously you have an IWGP heavyweight title match in the main event there. Semi-main is never open weight. Goto, Bolton, and Yoshihashi defending the titles against Great Okan, Hanare, and Will Ospreay, which should be a hell of a match. I mean, that sounds great. And then things get real tough real quick here on this show. You have Akira, Jake Lee, Jacob Austin Young, Zane J, versus Joe Maloney, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, Yota Tsuji. Taichi and Yuya Uemura versus Hartley Jackson and Rohei Oiwa. El Desperado and Mystico versus the Ichiban Sweet Boys. Aaron Wolf, Master Wato, Tiger Mask, Toru Yano, and Yo versus the House of Torture. So if you thought the House of Torture was wrapping up after night 1 with Aaron Wolf, they are not. You have Shota Umino and Tomoyaki Hanma versus the Knockout Brothers. Again, non-title. And
they
then
will not give Hanma a title match.
This poor guy. Come on.
How come Chase Owens gets title matches left and right, but Tomoaki Hanma can't get a title match?
He's got to, bullshit. He's got to win matches to get title shots, but all these other guys are able to get it. So Taguchi versus Matsumoto versus Nagai and Gato. Don't like Gato's chances on that one. Konosuke Takeshita versus Chase Owens for the New Japan World TV title. And then a Young Lion match kickoff. Yasuda versus Nakahara.
So, okay, if we just look at the business end of this one, it's much stronger than the first night because I think Callum Newman Shingo obviously looks like it has a chance to be great. You've got Will Ospreay, Hanare, and Okan challenging for the 6-man titles with Bishamon and Oleg Boltin. Those 2 matches, to me, are more appealing than the 3 matches on top on the first night, and I think to most of our listeners probably as well. I even, I enjoyed these Takeshita TV title matches too. I mean, because they're going to be short because they have to be by rule. And I like seeing him face the challenge of, okay, can he get a good match out of Huge? Can he get a good match out of Chase Owens? Right? Like, if this were 2013 Chase Owens, of course he can get it good, but can he get a good match out of the Lone Star Outlaw Chase Owens?
Right, I don't know.
In
but we're
2026. But we're going to find out, So I like the business end stuff here. And look, on the filler, Despy and Mystico versus Fujita and
That's
Robbie
a sleeper.
Eagles.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's a good-looking match for a filler match. So you got a couple matches in there that can be sneaky good as opposed to the first night where it's just, your random 3, 6, and 8-man tags and such. So night 2 looks better, I guess is my point.
Yeah, I don't particularly like either night, to be honest, but
you're going to have to watch them, buddy.
No, I know.
You better learn to like it.
And my policy of skipping House of Torture matches might be a little tough on this night because they're pretty prominent on both nights, so I might be.
Wait, you didn't watch Tiger Mask against Dookie in the Lumberjack match?
Oh, God, I heard about that match, and it sounded like my fucking hell, so no, I did not.
Even I blew that off, and I love Tiger Mask. His last
I feel bad. It's like
match,
his last title match, and I'm like, that's all
I'm like, I can't, I'm not doing it. I'm not sitting through it.
right.
It's like.
He'll be fine. He doesn't need me to watch it, so.
What I saw is Forbidden Door is happening before he retires.
Tony, we can still do it.
Big Tone. I gotta harass him again.
Yeah, we do.
No sold, of course, but I'm gonna harass him again.
Left on red again, but that's all right.
Because I thought last year was the last chance.
You're right. Okay, so we will be able to do. Okay,
I'm almost positive because if you look at check this out. Forbidden Door is June 28th. The Tiger Mask retirement show is July 7th.
Oh, we could do it.
So it can happen.
We thought last year was it. There's still time, Tony, please.
I think Tiger Mask refusing to get on the plane for Jersey Championship Wrestling was a sign. Because who wants it to happen there? I mean, I'll take the match either way, but I'd rather it happen at Forbidden Door. So that was I think the universe was like, we can't do Tiger Mask versus Tommy Billington
on the Jersey J Cup undercard. Yeah,
on a Game Changer D show. We can't do that. We have to do it at Forbidden Door. They got to get 8 minutes on a pre-show is what needs to happen. So we got to get back in full force, harassing Tony Khan over this, where he will just roll his eyes and not respond to either one of us. But listen, I'm gonna go hard this time. I'm gonna say, Tony, you claim you're for the sickos. That's what you like to claim,
right? And it's really it this time. Right. It's really it. Last year we thought it was it, but it's really it this time.
He's retiring a week later. This is really the last chance. I respect the fact that you were going to allow Jersey Championship Wrestling to use Tommy Billington, but it didn't happen. This is your chance to book this generation's Tiger Mask versus Dynamite Kid. What else is going on that hokey pre-show, Tony? Right. Now, if I say it like that, I'm really killing the chances.
Tell the Costco guys to stay home and just book this match.
Yeah, tell the Costco geeks to stay home. We don't need some Anna J match. What we need, Tony Khan, is Tommy Billington versus Tiger Mask. It's our last chance. And who knows? Maybe the old grumpy bastard will agree to put the kid over. I bet you he would. He don't give a shit.
No, yeah, he'd be fine with that.
He don't give a shit. As long as the kid buys him a pack of smokes, he'll put him over.
Right. Thanks him after the match. That's all that matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taps his chest after he pins him with a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's all he wants.
So hopefully we can make that happen.
Maybe a carton of smokes.
Yeah, go with the carton.
Good gesture. Good gesture to give him the carton instead of a pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize we had it again.
What?
We could do it. The Tiger Mask versus Dynamite. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Because we were so disappointed last year. We were like, it's over. It's done. We can't ever have it again. But
yeah, we thought we missed the window, but we did not.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to start bothering Tony tonight.
Yes.
If we all bother Tony, no, you don't all have to bother Tony, but
no. Let's not. No.
Don't all bother Tony, but
we don't need to bomb the guy because then it's going to work against us. Let the professionals handle this.
Right. We got
it.
Okay. Cleaner, we got this.
Yeah. And we did such a great job last time convincing him that
it worked.
Allow us to handle this.
I mean, somebody booked it.
Somebody booked it.
All right, he didn't.
That's right.
But
who knows if it would have gotten booked if we didn't, so let the professionals handle this, and we'll make sure you guys get that match that none of you asked for, except for me and Rich.
Yeah.
But we'll make sure that you get it. I'm sure our listeners would be into that.
Yeah, and we're not asking for a 15-minute match midway through the pay-per-view. We're asking for an 8 to 9 minutes.
Entrance is the bell. That's all. I don't need nothing else.
That's all.
You think? Listen, Tiger Mask don't want to do nothing else.
Yeah, I was going to say you wrote 11 minutes on that sheet, and he would go.
Yeah,
right.
He just wants to hit a Tiger driver and then hopefully lose to a top rope headbutt, and then that's that.
Yeah, right.
Then we get out of there. Although, my preferred finish would be he does a spin kick to the gut and Billington tumbles to the outside and loses by count out or something.
Hell yeah.
It should be in the tradition of the Dynamite Kid Tiger Mask.
Yeah.
Where Dynamite could never best him, right? I wouldn't mind that either.
Yeah. What would you rather have? Is that Dynamite still can't best him, or as we send off this Tiger Mask, Dynamite finally does do it? I kind of like the idea of him not being able to do it, because if there's another Tiger Mask, you got a whole nother program that you can run with the new Tiger Mask.
Yeah. I can go either way.
If Dragon Dia becomes the new Tiger Mask, you got a built-in feud there.
I think you put Billington over, and then I think Black Tiger runs down and attacks Billington. Now that's the kind of shit I would do.
Yeah, this is the real sicko shit that should be happening.
And you've got access to both of them. You got Rocky back there.
Yep.
And you got access to the new guy. Like, so there's no excuses here.
You talking about Magnus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you have access to both of them.
Yeah, we're cooking here. This is good stuff. With other people's money, we do a really good job of spending other people's money.
Great job with other people's
money. How much money is this really, though? This is a not even a drop in the bucket for Tony Khan to do this, everything we just talked about.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, you're flying a bunch of those guys over anyway. These Forbidden Door shows, are they still split show? I mean, you might even not be paying to fly them over. I think New Japan, aren't they still getting half the gate and everything else? And now I don't even know how it works. However it works, it's just another guy on the plane. You got Billington under some kind of contract. You tell Rocky to bring that furry mask of his, and you're all set. You're all set.
I bet he's got it. Rocky seems like the type of guy who always brings it.
And then that leads to a Black Tiger Tommy Billington feud on Collision.
Right.
It carries us through 3 weeks of Collision.
Honestly, what you do is you run it back, because when's Tiger Mask retiring? July
7th.
July 7th. Okay, so what we do is Forbidden Door, that we can run it back on Dynamite or Collision.
We could.
Is after the match when the Black Tigers come out and beat up Billington.
Right.
Tiger Mask 4 stands up and says, no, hold on a minute. So it's Black Tiger and Black Tiger versus Tiger Mask and Dynamite Kid.
Dude, see, we belong in the room. But
Tell RJ to hit the fucking bricks. Get us in the room, yeah.
Right, but not for anything important. Just dumb shit.
Right. But let us book a syndicated show. I know you don't have a syndicated show, but get a syndicated show and let us book it. See if Comet's got some extra spots on Comet.
Like Jimmy Hart booking Saturday night.
Yeah, that's what I want. That would be my dream. If I ever...
I know we could do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and come up with like headcanon of the... Not even headcanon, real canon of what
I've got ideas for Adam Priest already.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with like Hangman Page and Swerve and all that. No, I want to tell the story of Black Tiger and Black Tiger versus Tiger Mask and Tommy Billington. Like, that's what I want to do.
Oh, my God. I'm excited just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I could lay out a month's worth of fucking... Yeah, no doubt about it. Someone's like, book ROH. No, I don't want to book a promotion.
Just I want a syndicated episode of Jimmy Hart 2000 WCW Saturday Night. It's like
correct.
Completely off the reservation of it because nobody knew what was happening. Nobody watched it. Nobody cared anymore. So he could just do whatever he wanted. So we had like little mini storylines with Barry Darso and shit going on.
You had Men at Work feuding with the Armstrongs for some reason. And it was great.
It was so good.
You're just like, wow, this is a rematch from last week. Let's get into it. That's exactly. So that's what I want to do. That's all I want to do. I don't care about the big picture stuff. Not interested.
No titles. I don't even want titles. I don't even need a title.
Nah, don't need titles.
Titles are stupid. Yeah.
Don't need them.
Pay window. The pay window is my only title. So.
That's right. They're fighting for the pay window. That's right. And Pride. That's two Black Tigers across the ring. Tiger Mask isn't going to stand for this.
Right. So good.
Don't make me try to think who I'm gonna. I'll bring the Cobra back. I know George Takano, but I'll find a new Cobra.
Takano. Is he still alive?
Probably not.
I would say George Takano is still alive. Yeah.
Someone else could be the Cobra though.
Yeah. Takano is still alive.
There you go.
He's 67, so you might want to bring a new Cobra in, but
that's what I mean. I can find a new Cobra. But, I could get him. We can get him in the mix. I mean,
we're just rebooking 1984 WWF.
1982 New Japan is what we're doing here. And I'm all about it. Did you know Takano as the Cobra was built from Uganda? I didn't know that.
Wow. No, I did not. Interesting. Strange. I know he was a mixed race, but I don't think he was ever.
Was he mixed race?
He was. I remember reading about that because if
he's really from Uganda.
I don't think so, but
well,
he was when I watched SWS. I remember being really impressed by
the Cobra.
Yeah,
Takano.
Yeah, Takano. Yeah, I remember being really impressed by him, but I don't know why. He's not that good, but I don't know. Had a good look in the SWS days. Anyway, that is New Japan's Wrestling Dontaku. We'll be reviewing both those shows next week. Speaking of reviews, Dragongate, you got about 8 minutes on our show. We can go a little over 3 hours here, but I don't have a ton to talk about with Dragongate Golden Colosseum. Again, Dragongate on the Flagship. As I said, it's been quite a while since it's happened. What did you think of this? Now, we obviously, you've been very out on Dragongate for a while now. I was watching it even after you were out about, I mean, you've been basically done for like 2 or 3 years of basically not watching Dragongate month to month at all. I was watching it up until about a year or so ago, or about 6 months ago, and I've kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit on Dragongate. And I came back for this show, and I know you came back and you watched this entire show. Are you back on the wagon with Dragongate? Because I didn't see anything in the show that would have me back on the wagon with them. I'm still very indifferent and very enthused by the state of Dragongate. But where are you at after this?
I'll watch the Rex when Case sends them to me. Look, I'll say this. The Twin Gate match, which also doubled as the tag team belts from, Ryukyu
Yes.
Dragon Pro, right?
Yeah.
So it's title for title. I thought that was, just for comparison's sake, a much better match than the Knockout Brothers versus Bishamon.
I haven't seen the Knockout Brothers Bishamon, but yes, there's few tag matches that are as good as this one was, so I could buy it.
Yeah. I mean, people are saying match of the year level. I don't think it was that good, but I did enjoy the hell out of it. It was Jackie, Kamei, and Reita. They were representing the Twin Gate belts.
Yes.
And they defeated Kagetora and Susumu Yokozuka, who were representing the belts from Ryukyu Dragon.
Okinawa, the Okinawa promotion, because they have relationships with at times. So
I don't know how to pronounce the belt. Suryu? I don't know how to pronounce
Yeah, I have no idea. Let's just say that.
It's the tag titles from that promotion.
Yeah.
Line.
RDPW promotion.
Yeah, and Dragongate guys wrestle there all the time, and they Kagetora and Yokozuka were the champs coming into this, and this was title for title, and this really brought me back. This was your Big Brother's Dragongate.
Yep,
is what this was. The pacing, and particularly the escalation. I thought the escalation really brought me back to that 2013, 2012, 2010 era of Dragongate, and you had two of those guys in there with Susumu and Kagetora. And Kagetora, to me, he's the ultimate. When he's doing something important, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. When he's in the 8-man tag opener, he's Togi Makabe.
You don't even see him. Yeah, you don't even know
he's not going to bump. And and I'm watching this, and this was an important match, and he had his working shoes on, and he's probably in his mid-40s like the rest of these guys. He is 44. And it's like he hasn't lost a step. And Susumu Yokozuka the same. And both of those guys, as we're kicking around our greatest wrestler ever lists that we might be doing and everything, they're both on my short list and they're probably, Susumu Yokozuka will make it on my list for sure.
Yeah, he's locked in on mine for sure.
Kagetora very well might make my list in the bottom quarter. They both might make it. And I was thinking about that when I was watching this too, where it was like, wow, these guys are in their mid-40s, and when they're handed the ball, Yokozuka's 47, and when they're handed the ball in a semi-main event match on a major show, they still wrestle like they did 10, 15, 12 years ago. I thought they were great. And, they put over the younger guys here, and they belted them up too. They put their title belts on their waist afterwards, which was, the crowd pop for that, very symbolic and everything else. And this was really a throwback Dragongate match, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I would stop short of match of the year level. Perhaps if I were more locked into Dragongate and more invested in the build and all those things, maybe it could take it to that level for me. Because that obviously hurt the rest of the show for me in a big way, because I am not going even... I'm not even going to pretend to be locked in on Dragongate, because I'm not. So it definitely, like the main event, Did you watch the cage?
Oh yeah. It was all story, and it's all if you
All
know
story
that
I don't follow.
that
So
you're not following. You don't even know the two units that are involved, and that was a tough match.
Right.
That was a tough match to watch out of context. The tag title match, you could watch out of context because it's just a classic, and it felt like a classic, comfortable Dragon Gate match that you're used to.
And it's title for title. You could understand the stakes, and that's just pro wrestling. The main event, which was like the old Dead or Alive cage.
Yeah.
With the flags and elimination style, and the last guy left either gets unmasked or loses his hair, and your unit disbands.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not locked into Dragon Gate, so I have no emotional attachment to any of these units. I don't have any.
I will say, for people that aren't even Dragon Gate fans, have no emotional attachment to these current units. So the
Dragon Gate's not. Yeah, we should note that Dragon Gate is not having a very good run right now.
No,
even to their own fan base. Kakuta has not had a good run as champion, from what I understand. What's funny is this show is in the middle of the carnival, and he's like smack dab in the champion.
How's he been in the carnival? Because I know you're doing the reviews on Flagship Patreon. Because I think he's a zilch. I've done with the dude. What do you think? How's he doing in the carnival though?
He's been okay. I haven't hated his matches. The carnival's been a lot of fun. I don't really have. I can't really criticize anyone this year in the carnival. But the thing is, there's only been the 3 super high level matches, the first 3 main events. When Go Shiozaki, Kento Miyahara, and Yuma Anzai, when those 3 guys wrestled each other on the first 3 nights in the main events, those matches were fucking phenomenal. You really should go watch them. They're great. It's not going to be a waste of your time. Everything else, nothing else has come close to those 3 matches, but I don't think anything has been terrible either. It's been a fun, easy to watch tournament. And Kakuta's been part of that. But I hear Kakuta has been bad here as champion. I can't speak to it. I can only go by what people tell me. I guess this El Cielo character is going to get unmasked at some point. It's like a big mystery who this is. Isn't that the deal?
I think so. Yeah. And the big hook of this entire match was the last 2 guys were Shun Skywalker and Homare, who were in the same unit. So their unit was already going to have to disband. And it was essentially, okay, one of us is going to have to get unmasked, Shun Skywalker or Homare, you're going to have to lose your hair. But our unit is done. Our unit must disband. And so Shun Skywalker gets to the top, and he's very conflicted because it's his unit. I mean, he's the leader of the unit, and he's going to basically, to keep his own, mask and to keep himself alive, he's got to grab that flag. And then, his stable has to disband, and one of his stablemates has to get his hair shaved. So,
yeah. Now, without really following the company, which makes these kinds of matches really hard, I will say that it's always smart to have it come down to Shun Skywalker and someone else, because he obviously is one of, if not the most charismatic wrestler in the company, one of the most charismatic at minimum. And there's always fan investment in what he's doing and him potentially being unmasked. And it did come down to him and Homare as the last 2. And he taunted him. He was up there holding the flag, but he wouldn't pull it out. And he let the kid climb up slowly and clawed his boots, right, out of desperation. Then he pulled the flag out like a fucker, and I like that. Because that's just so Shun Skywalker of a finish, to taunt him in that way. And it helped get the kid over, not giving up. And clawing at that boot.
Yeah, see, I saw it more as he was conflicted about doing it. That he knew, like, fuck, I got to do this.
Well, I felt like you could be right, but I felt like he was more conflicted when they were shaving his head. Like they were putting too much of a beating on him. Mm-hmm. I did get that sense. But you could be right. I could have had the wrong read on that.
Because he's kind of a baby face right now. But again, it's Shun Skywalker, so he can go the other direction quickly. I saw it more as, wow, I brought this guy into this unit. This is my unit. My unit now has to disband. And now I have to save my own ass here. Like, I'm not going to lose. Like, I don't want to get unmasked. So I have to do this, but God, I don't really want to. And then, because I kind of, that's the vibe I got from it a little bit more than like you're pointing out. But that fits your way fits Shun Skywalker a lot too, because he's a fucking asshole most of the time.
But he behaved the way you're saying when they were shaving his head.
Yeah. So I think he was very conflicted about doing it.
Yeah, because they were really nasty to him when they were shaving his head, Kakuta and all those guys, and and then they kept flashing the camera to Skywalker, who looked like he felt bad for him. and almost like, oh man, I won, but now look what this guy's going through. So that fits more what you're saying, because that's the way he behaved on the floor. But again, this kind of match is so hard when you're not locked into the promotion. So, I don't really want to judge it other than, the surface level, what I saw, But the rest of the show was fine. I mean, it was nothing. I thought the Brave Gate had a really cool finish where Tanaka put UT in that nasty choke.
Yeah. That was a Dragongate ass finish, because like we always love how Dragongate, like sometimes a guy will just win. You know what I mean? It's like you're thinking, oh, he's going to get out of it, because in normal wrestling, it's like they're not going to have a 6-minute match end with a guy just putting him in a chokehold and then he just taps out, or the referee just says it's over, you're done.
He's out. Yeah.
But Dragongate just does that. It's just like, no, he's done, man. Like we always talk about how if the odds are against the babyface, in Dragongate, more often than not, the babyface doesn't win. It's like, well, no, it's 3 heels versus 1 babyface. Like the babyface is going to win. Yeah. Like he's just going to lose, and the 3 guys are going to, beat him and then celebrate afterwards. Like they're very logical in that way, and this was cool too. Tanaka just beat UT and put him in that fucking choke, and UT just was done in 6 minutes. It's over.
I haven't seen much of Tanaka, but I thought, even in the 7 minutes, there were a lot of holes. He's a young wrestler. He wasn't registering UT's offense in a way that very well to me. You could see that he's a young wrestler, but I really enjoyed the finish. The Triangle Gate match was KZ and his guys, and that one dude is fucking canceled. I can tell you that right now. The guy with the Indian headdress, and I don't know what.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've never seen these guys before. This Aki and I don't know how the hell to pronounce.
Well, you have Gooch. And to me, a gooch is the space between. Isn't gooch the space between your balls and your asshole? Isn't that the gooch?
It is, yeah. Right?
So we got gooch over here, and then that A key. I don't know if you noticed this, but the official spelling is the @ symbol, KEY.
Oh, okay, all right.
@ symbol. I don't know how to say that. Look, if you didn't know how to pronounce KZ, you'd struggle with that one too if he hadn't been around for 15 years. So I don't know what's going on with the natural vibes these days. But the one dude wears like the full Indian headdress with the face paint, like he's Chief J Strongbow, and it's like I don't know, man.
I don't know, Chief. I don't know if that's gonna work.
You better have the blood in you, because I don't know what year you think this is, pal. Okay, but yes, but the opponents. I mean,
I get you heat. That got you heat in the 1982. I mean, I remember the Briscoes beat up.
That's true.
One of the Strongbows. I forget which one, and said, "You ain't no Cherokee. There ain't no Cherokee blood in you." As they beat his ass up and took his headdress. It's like, hell yeah,
Wahoo?
Jack Briscoe.
Hell
yeah,
Wahoo,
brother.
Or was it someone else?
It wasn't. Who was Wahoo? It wasn't.
Who they beat up? I can't remember now.
I forget, but I remember when
they punched him in the gut, and they were like, "We're real Indians." And they punched him in the gut.
Give us that headdress.
The problem is they beat the baby faces now.
They were, yeah, exactly.
Because they aren't like, their whole point was, we're not stereotypical. Like they're like just Indian guys. They're just guys who were fucking Indian.
We are Cherokee, but we're not, we don't wear headdresses and dance around the ring. But in those days, they were the heels.
They were the heels.
The one in the headdresses that were dancing around the ring were even if they were just Italian guys, they were the baby faces. So.
Right. It was completely backwards, right? Like they totally be the baby
now,
faces.
the Briscoes would be the woke warriors being like, hey now.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
Good point, Right. Like, it's all backwards. Like today, the fucking communists would be the baby faces. Like the fucking the bald commie Russians.
Everybody would be like,
yeah,
he's right.
I'll defend the proletariat. Yeah, let's go.
And then the Patriot, boo. The WCW Patriot would come out and fuck that guy.
You gymnastic piece of shit. Like.
You support genocide. He's like, I don't know, I'm just a patriot, man.
Look at this colonizer. It's all fucking backwards now. It's all back. It'll all be flip flopped. Yeah, but anyway, it was fucking CyberKong. I thought I escaped this guy. Now I did appreciate
CyberKong.
Now I will say, I did appreciate a little Mondai Ryu, the fucking international problem dragon. Okay, I did appreciate that. I won't turn down the international problem dragon at any time. And then Koji Iwamoto, who I forgot existed, if I'm being perfectly honest. And, so considering who the opponents were, the match was fine. And Yoki Yoshioka versus Strong Machine Jay. I'm not a big Yoshioka guy.
Nah, he's a fucking zilch. And that's a big reason why I think I have no connection to current Dragon Gate is I think too many of their top guys are just like Kota Minoura, I think, is a zilch. I think Yuki Yoshioka's a zilch. I think Kakuta's a zilch. Like, other than Shun Skywalker, I think most of these dudes are fucking, they just do nothing for me. And the problem is, like, I watch a show like this, and I shouldn't come away thinking Kagetora and Susumu are the best guys, but I do. I still do. And it's like, it's the same dudes that are still, to me, the top guys in the company. And that is going to be a struggle. Shun Skywalker rocks, obviously. Of course. We all know that. But it's those other dudes, the guys below that are really just a tough watch.
I mean, I was going to say, I thought this match was fine for a mid-card singles match with one guy that I usually don't like. It was fine, and I thought Yoshioka showed more charisma than I am remembered. I mean, because again, I haven't seen him wrestle in a while, but and again, I have no feel as to whether this means he's going to get pushed or not, or I don't know because I don't.
Yeah, we're just dropping in here.
So I'm parachuting in, and I didn't do a crash course before I watched. I didn't watch the Korakuen, the last Korakuen, or what. I didn't do any of that. I just parachuted in and watched this, and I was, I don't feel like I wasted my time, and I thought that the tag title match was really good. So, I don't know. Any other thoughts on?
I don't. One. Real quick, just kind of circling back to Kagetora and Susumu. Those are guys that I don't think. There's a couple wrestlers that I don't think we give enough credit to for being as good as they've been for as long as they've been. And Susumu is a guy that those who really know. And like I said, there's going to be, those top 100 greatest wrestlers ever list. There will be several people that will have Susumu on their list. And there will be many, many more that don't have him anywhere near that list and never even considered him and don't even know that, they probably never watched a match of his. And that's a damn shame because that guy has been great for 3 decades. Kagetora, a guy who is timeless as well. Again, does he deliver always? No, he'll take it easy, but in the big spots, he delivers and has delivered for decades and decades and decades. And these guys, I'm starting to gain more of an appreciation for these sort of guys, especially as I'm doing my Takeshi Morishima series, which is coming soon to Flagship, patreon.com. And Roderick Strong and Claudio Castagnoli are other guys that I add into that too, where I'm watching matches from them in 2007, and they're fucking great. And I watched their matches in the 2010s, and they were great. And I'm watching their matches in the 2020s, and they're still great. And it's like, these guys have been really good for so long.
For a long time.
Yeah, and like, there's a lot of guys like that I just don't think get enough love. Jun Akiyama is a guy who the highs aren't as high as like the 4 pillars or whatever, but man, Jun Akiyama has been great since 1992. Like, that's a long ass time, and he's been great the entire time. Susumu, you always bring up that, he's Masashi Mochizuki is another guy who has probably been a top 50 worker in the world for decades, like consistently every year. And that's worth something to me. I mean, that's something that's just super important. And as I was watching that match, I was just thinking like Susumu, man, is just, that's when I was like, I watched this match and I was like, if I am going to do a top 100, he absolutely 100% has to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because he's just phenomenal, and he's been phenomenal for years and years and years and years.
Long time.
And doesn't show any signs of slowing down. Like, I haven't seen anything. Did you see anything in this game? He was great. He was fucking phenomenal in this match.
No, it's like I said, I feel like I just dropped in on 2012.
Yeah.
I just, they didn't look like, I'll watch Shima, modern Shima, and I'm like, oh, he slowed down a little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's and some of these guys, but these 2 guys, no, I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like I just, dropped in on a show from 2012. Mm-hmm. That's how they wrestled in this one. And
and I definitely recommend watching this match. Susumu does a clothesline, I think, to Jackie Kamei. That's like an all-timer clothesline. I mean, just takes his fucking head off.
Yeah, Susumu is just solid as fuck.
He's so good.
And it always has been. He's just a wrestler's wrestler. He's just super solid. Not a guy you would ever want to be the top guy in a promotion or anything like that, but just as a solid backbone of a promotion, a guy that you can do anything with, put him in tag team he's been in a million different tag team scenarios. You can give him world title matches. You can have him in these Triangle Gate bouts. You can have him carry a feud versus a younger guy. I mean, he's just it's solid as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
He's wrestled Dragon Gate his whole life. And for people who never watched Dragon Gate, kind of like what you were saying, they've missed a really great career. And again, at the age of 47, showing no signs No
Zero.
signs.
Zero signs of slowing down. Guy has another 10 years in him, it looks like, It's wild.
Yeah.
And I thought that same thing about, when I was watching these 2007 Roddy and Claudio matches, and I'm like, think about those guys. Does Claudio Castagnoli strike you as a guy who's like on the downswing of his career?
Not at all.
He looks as good as he ever did. It's like, shit. And you see Roderick Strong sometimes, and you're like, that guy could wrestle for 20 more years. Why not, right? Like
Roddy's issue is not performance.
Never.
It's gimmick.
Yeah.
It's, which I guess after all these years, he's kind of earned if he wants to, if he do something where he's having fun and goofing around. I'm sure he recognizes that he's never going to be world champion, and he's probably never going to have a $5 million a year contract. So if this keeps him employed and he could be an entertaining undercard guy, maybe it's not for us. But when the bell rings, he delivers. He's still that guy. I mean, he's still that fucking guy when the bell rings.
Yeah. And Claudio's drive is wild too, because that man just signed a dual contract because he wants to be in CMLL more. That fucking rocks. Like, think about that. How awesome that is. This many years into the game, and he's like, no, let me get more work. Like, let me work more places. That's cool. It's cool as fuck.
Yeah. Grant Akuma chimes in, Susumu might be a top 5 base of all time. You don't need to tie him to a time period. I don't think 5 wrestlers in history have ever been a better base than him. Not a top guy, a top opponent.
That's great.
I mean, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is just rock fucking solid. So, I've never seen Susumu being put in a position to have like a real match that matters and not deliver. And there's great wrestlers who have had stinkers. You know what I mean? Like it's okay. Like not, but he's one of those guys where it's like, when does he not deliver?
Yeah, right. No, I mean, when you think of any time you've watched Susumu in a match and went, whatever.
Susumu was off tonight. It never
doesn't happen. Yeah.
So, great pro wrestler. And I'm glad that every now and then we still get a chance to talk about him.
All right. So that is it for the Flagship. A ton of content available for you guys at flagshippatreon.com. You had a bunch of Flagship Pluses this week. My Takeshi Morishima series should be
2 in 1 day.
2 in 1 day. Yeah, that's right.
2 in 1 day.
Right. I did the morning and you did the afternoon or the night or whatever. Yeah, that was. Look at that. Look at that work ethic right there. But plenty of good content for you guys over at flagshippatreon.com. A good month, too, because we'll have Double or Nothing Instant Reaction Live coming in May. Takeshi Morishima series, as I talked about. I'm in the process of recording that. It's about 2.5 hours already, and it's going to be a long one. It is going to be a long one. So it's a detailed look at Takeshi Morishima's ROH World Title run. So a lot going on there, and plenty of other stuff for you guys available. The Champion Carnival night by night getting covered there at flagshippatreon.com. But we'll have plenty for you guys over the next weeks and months. But that is it for us. So that is Joe. I'm Rich. We'll talk to you next time on the Flagship Podcast. Take care. Bye.
Wrestling Omakase brings you a full-course meal of all of Japanese wrestling, men's and women's. Join me, a Japanese wrestling fan for over 20 years, along with a rotating cast of equally knowledgeable co-hosts, as we cover everything from New Japan and Stardom to Noah, All Japan, DDT, Tokyo Joshi, Mari Gold, Sendai Girls, Dragongate, GLEAT, Ice Ribbon, and even more stuff. If you're a fan of Japanese wrestling and you want coverage of the entire scene in one podcast, check us out right here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network each and every week. Get us wherever you get podcasts today.